or adding to the video. But I've never seen the video in my life. Sheffrin's never seen the video in his life. Sosa never seen the video in his life. And Logic never seen the video in his life. Yet we all heard this story told to us from Unc's mouth. We never watched the video. Logic heard it in the Discord. Me and Sheffrin heard it on the iPhone chat, and I don't know where Sosa said he heard it at.
Yeah,
but
that was stated.
Story,
that was stated last night in the show.
No, he didn't state that. He
no,
said
I'm not
that
saying
we
you.
said.
I'm not saying you said it. One of you guys that came up, and I think it was Brass, mentioned that the confusion didn't start from a video. The confusion started from the conversation around you guys saying that you personally heard it someplace. So that was mentioned on the show last night.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like we never seen the video, but yet we all know the story. So what this should tell somebody, right, who's thinking about it at least in any kind of way, right, that okay, now they and they didn't watch this video, but they all telling the same story. So Unc must have told the story. And then when he tells the story, he tells the story in multiple different ways. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, like, they made it seem like we were fabricating or something might be wrong with our memories. We planting memories in our own heads and this and that and the other. This was the narrative because they started sharing sources and playing video. Matter of fact, they played one of the videos. One of the videos was a video that I saw in the hospital like years ago when I got shot in the head. Like they was telling me about this, how your brain fills in where it gets cloudy at. Your brain will help you out and just fill in for you. You know what I'm saying? I had some brain damage when I got shot in the head. So I realized I know about that video. And what that video is trying to explain is how people, eyewitness accounts is some of the most terrible accounts to go by, right? So what I'm saying is, right, he's playing that video, and all of y'all in the audience and everything are thinking that me and Logic heard the gorilla story from the video. And that's not the truth at all. What we did hear the gorilla story from was from Unc's mouth. And then yesterday, he had you that we made that whole thing up out of whole cloth.
Well, remember, I was in the chat yesterday and however many days we've been talking about this. So I already knew what you guys were saying, that you said you heard it from him or something like that. So I already knew that. So it was an interesting show. I think that this type of show really speaks to, it has like a reality TV vibe. And I think it makes for good content. And more collaborations like this should be done. Y'all got a good method here. You pick some person, get on them, and then they come back and try to refute what was said or whatever. And then this could probably go on for some content for a couple of days. So
the
I
fact
like
that
this,
y'all think
I
this
like
is
this
a
method.
the fact that y'all think this is a method and that this was somehow a plan by us means only some people.
Y'all didn't hear nothing. Y'all didn't hear that video at all yesterday.
You really think that we wanted to talk about gorillas for 3 fucking days?
No, not specifically gorillas, but specifically. But I do think that you guys specifically look to certain things to pick at, right? And then you just form some content off that, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
that's the complete opposite.
No, there is something wrong with that. It's actually the complete opposite. We actually come here to actually do content or just give people our regular conversations. We could be talking about the Eagles or Trump or anything. And then somebody from the other side of the conversation, go back and watch the videos, comes in here, woofing and yelling. That's usually Unc or Sosa with the sources on something saying, well, I know what y'all said yesterday about Fred Wilson, but today I found some new shit. Like today, if Unc wasn't in here, Sosa would be talking about Naeem Akbar, and we'd be talking about Naeem Akbar for hours. we never planned to talk about. When I have a conversation, Sister Soph, I'm gonna tell you straight up. When I have a conversation, I only need to have the conversation one time. If y'all start with the fucking, let me ask you a question, Brass. Let me ask you a question, Brass. And that shit lasts 4 days just off of that. That's not us planning that. Like we don't. This isn't reality. This is reality TV
No,
for
I guess
real.
what I'm saying is
They're
that
inserting the
maybe
conscious
you should.
community into this.
Maybe what
No,
I'm
I don't want
saying
to
is
do that.
that maybe there should be some of that, because when there's all these long conversations going on, someone should be somewhere taking some notes and saying, okay, listen, this is a good point right here. We're going to stick to this for this day. Here's another good point. We're going to stick to this. Here's another good point.
Yeah,
This person's talking this crazy shit, so we're going to stick to
yeah.
this.
No,
There should be some of that
our
going on.
adversaries. Yeah, our adversaries. They do that and then blame us for bringing up the conversation. So like, and then in a sense, because see, then I would agree with the people that say we're attacking the elders or we're attacking a specific person. It's usually just we said what we said, and then everybody's defense causes us to talk more about it. So like that's usually what happens. But like, and you know what? You actually do bring up a good point. The actual issue in this whole thing is that niggas thought Unc lied yesterday. And they maybe they don't want to just come out and say it, but they actually thought he lied. And motherfuckers probably still think he lied. That's neither here nor there. But I didn't want to keep talking about gorillas, because if you think he lied, just say that, right? Or if you think that like somehow like Logic, I understood why he actually was upset. And Logic, you can correct me if I'm wrong. He was upset that motherfuckers was actually thinking that Unc started telling him a story about chickens, and then Logic took the leap to gorilla. Not Unc telling him that it was a gorilla. That Logic just, instead of, if he said it to someone else, yeah, he was gonna do that. It made it seem like Logic took the leap, and he felt like it was on some lie shit. Like
Well,
that,
I
and
don't
that,
want
I
to.
mean, or Logic, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that that's what it was. And then when you go do a show, the show makes it seem like Unc was talking about chickens, and then Logic somehow, the gorilla shit didn't come from Unc directly to him. It came from a video he seen. So then, but we're still
So,
at lie. So the fact that they
so
never
all of this.
addressed that part, that's what it
all
was.
of this is very interesting, and I don't want you guys to have to rehash something. I really just wanted to say that it was a good collaboration, and it makes for good
What
content. I
collaboration are
think
you talking about?
you guys,
You keep saying that. I don't know what you mean. What collaboration do we do?
you don't think
You
that
talking
was
about the pseudo killers and the tri-media.
yeah, you don't think that was
Us
somewhat
going
of
on
an
a panel with
unofficial?
them?
you think that
You
was
don't
Wait,
think
you
that
think
something
was
us
that we
going on
like
a
somewhat of a
staged or something? That's not
no? Hold on a second. If you was in the chat, you would have seen what I put, that it was a good unofficial collaboration. That was. You guys got up there. You talked about some stuff. You don't think that that was made for a good show? That
it made a
component
good
of it?
show. It made for a good show for them, but I can't. We
And for
could
you guys, you
collaborate.
don't think that?
Hold on.
As
No.
her,
That's their shit. It made a good show for them. But if anything, I
Yeah,
actually
he
we
did a
probably
good
fucked
job
up
of
the
turning
show.
that into content. He did.
Yeah. No. We probably actually fucked up the show because we was trying to bring some kind of clarity. It probably should have just stayed at Logic forgot the story from the video, not on. That's probably where it should have went. But here's the thing: we don't. I'm gonna speak for me. I don't. It couldn't be a collaboration because I know that for all intents and purposes, them niggas hate me. Like for real. So we could never, don't look at that as a collaboration. That was
Okay.
just
You
a
think they
thing
hate
of
you?
like, no, I know. Not all. I won't say the entire Discord, but there's like 3, 4, 5 motherfuckers in there that truly hate me. So we could never collaborate because that shit will go nowhere. That shit we could never. I didn't do that to whatever. I kept it cordial. But Juju, like, she don't fuck with me. Miss Tiffany don't fuck with me at all. And I know Cedric don't fuck with me. So we didn't collaborate on shit. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
that was
maybe
no
collaboration is too strong of a word for you
no, it's
guys.
a hell of a strong word. Yeah.
But in my opinion, looking at it, it did look nice to see you guys having a
Yeah, it
civil
was.
exchange. It was cool. That aspect of it was really nice. That's what I'm saying.
You think Juju calling me a fucking Sambo was cordial?
I think we went over this already.
No.
That
I'm
part,
just trying to. No. I'm not
I'm
trying to start. No,
talking
I'm not trying to start.
about
No. Listen to me.
the
Listen to me.
fact
I'm not
that
trying
a
to.
few of you
I'm
guys
not
got up
trying to
there
start nothing.
and it
No,
wasn't
I'm
no
not trying to start.
cussing going on.
Because we
It
didn't
was cool.
cuss.
That's what I'm saying. It was nice and smooth. That's what I'm saying.
No, it wasn't nice
Everybody
and
get what
fucking
I'm saying?
smooth. That's my point. It wasn't nice and smooth. You like, I know y'all think it's all
Yeah,
good
I don't even
fun.
think that you got the whole point of the video last night. I think you might have
I
just
think you
got the
missed
last.
that.
Oh,
No,
the
can't
whole point
nobody
of the
call you
video
no fucking Sambo
was
and get
was
away with
to
that
show
shit in real life.
how
That
my
shit wasn't
mental
cool.
lapses led to my wrong conclusion. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was about how my mental lapses led to my wrong conclusion. While the whole time I'm actually spot on.
Yeah.
That's
I
exactly
went
what
up
happened.
there to clear
Some
some
kind
shit
of way
up.
you
That
missed that.
wasn't a color. No, it wasn't smooth.
No, I got
It
that. I
wasn't
got
no,
that
and the
part.
only reason it wasn't cussing is because we decided to be the bigger people, and I think Miss Tiff too. I think she didn't say much at all. So I think, and Marcus didn't say much at all with the amount of shit that's been said about him on some of these shows. The fact that they didn't say nothing at all, then I would say this, that, and the other. But if I go onto a panel, Sister Safa, and the first 3 minutes get called a Sambo, then that's not smooth. That's just me actually. That ain't even. I can't even say being a bigger man. That's just being. That's just like, all right. I know you want to go down that route, but you know what? I wish you success. So if I gotta play a sucker for us to be cool, then don't call it a collaboration. Don't call it smooth neither.
Okay, so am I the only one on here who thought that the show was good?
No, the
And
show was good. The show was good.
Sure was good.
Like
Yeah.
Unc did a good job, you know what I mean, with his comedy. You dig what I'm saying? And presenting
Yeah.
that thing like that.
And,
We
and,
give
and framing it,
we give him credit for that. But
I'm
you
also
know,
talking about the aspect with you guys coming on. So I mentioned before about how all of the
they
people,
wasn't even able
all
to
of
get
you
off.
guys, no,
Sister
Logic went
Safa,
on, but he wasn't able to elucidate. He wasn't able to tell his side of the story.
but listen to
and
what
then
I'm
on
saying
top of
though.
that,
All
come
of
on,
you
man.
guys have the same viewership pretty much, right? So
No,
from
And they didn't even let me on the panel.
but again, I'm
I was
sure
in the
they.
back chat the whole day. They didn't even let me on.
So can I just say one thing here? So what I'm
you can say a
saying
bunch
is,
of things.
as a
They some
viewer who is
assholes. They
not,
some assholes.
Come on, you just try to get
yeah.
shit on tape. Stop.
So now, as a viewer watching it, and we're just thinking about views, right? Okay, and you're thinking about grabbing people's interest, right? So we know that when you guys were on there last night, you showed up, you engaged. And then we know that there's going to be a follow up probably from you guys, right? So that's what I'm talking about. It was a nice production in that sense from the
Okay.
viewer side. You guys
Okay.
understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand that. Now that point, I understand that point. Yeah, I understand that. I can't. I'm pretty sure it was nice to see uh pseudo killers talking to, well, not me. Well, it was just nice to see for people that know the background. But for somebody just watching, they heard me get called a Sambo in the first 2 minutes of me being up there. So I don't know if we got to get views for me to do that. Then I don't want to call it a collaboration because I'll only do that. I did that yesterday, and I did that for Logic, just to bring some
Did
kind of
Logic
clarity
ever
to
was
it.
able to get his point out yesterday on that show?
I don't even remember.
No, he
this. I don't
wasn't.
even
Nah, I
remember
mean,
that shit.
all I asked him,
He
so this
talked a
whole
little bit.
time what we was arguing about, he ain't really answer it.
Right.
And I even went as far as to be like, I even was like, man, that ain't what we was talking about. Niggas talked all past me, so
That's why I
Like
said
for
don't go
example,
up there.
and if you need to explain to us who the hell y'all with y'all fucking pseudonyms, Mark Twain's, but the fact of the matter is, Sister Safa, so since we talking about it, we would have the only I went up I went up there. I didn't even think Logic was actually going to go. I just went up there because there did need to be some form of clarity, and I knew that we were playing what happened the next day, and I didn't. That would have started a little silly internet war. We actually went up there to kind of keep the peace a little bit because then Unc started saying, "Well, I ain't fuck with y'all niggas and this, that, and the other, and y'all don't come up here and all that." So my whole point was, I didn't want to leave him in that space and then this video come out today because then it could only be taken as a fucking silly declaration of war, right? So I like that it ended up in the peace per se. And even if we don't talk to each other, countries all the time hate each other, but they ain't at war with each other. But it's clear that they not, cool with each other either. So that's cool. But Logic can't really get his shit off even in here or even live because he would have. That's why I brought up live. He would have to tell Unc, and Corey would have to tell Unc, I think you lied to us. I think you were lying, or I think you're still lying. And once you go into lie, now we're not talking about a funny ha-ha story, this, that, and the other. And I think they even know that. I know that. I'm not gonna live. This is not reality TV in that sense where I'm gonna say Unc, you lied on his platform. I'm not gonna say it here, even no matter what it is, because this is some public shit. As men, I don't, y'all sort that shit out and move on to whatever. But I don't want to keep talking about it if I know the elephant in the room is niggas think Unc lied about the whole thing. Not the story, but y'all tried to make Logic look absolutely insane. Because that's how he looked to me. Logic said it to me first. That's how the whole shit started. He said to me, Unc sacrificed the gorilla. Now he was putting spice on that shit, on the joking about the
It's on
actual
the table.
doing it. About the actual
In the
doing
boat.
it. Hold on, mute up, Logic, if you're not talking to me. He was putting spice on it with him actually sacrificing it, and that's what they ran with. But what they ran with isn't the actual story. And what I was trying to tell Unc the actual story is y'all making Logic look absolutely crazy, as if you told him you were sacrificing a chicken, and Logic just made up a fucking gorilla. And now the crazy part is now I gotta look at Logic like, did you make that shit up? But then when Corey says, I heard the same shit and the same gorilla, now I'm like, well hold on, huh? You saying you never told him this? And then when you play a video, and then I'm like, okay, that's where both of them got it from. But then after the show, I find out that they ain't even seen the video. Now we back at live. And this whole day, Unc was in here and yelling and this, that, and the other, trying to, say whatever. But even he'll tell you that's why he's actually upset, because he thinks that niggas think he lied about it. Like, you fucking with his credibility now. Not a funny story, not the, real Hollywood stories or, Rick James bitch and all of that. Niggas think it's lying, and lying amongst us is something different. So, and I don't know if niggas may want to have that conversation live or if niggas just want to leave it alone. But I don't think we should have that conversation live. Not about that, if that's what it is. Niggas could call each other that. Niggas could talk to each other for that.
Actually, that's one thing I hate the most. And that's why I was with Logic, right? Because I hate it when motherfuckers know something and then stand there and don't say nothing. You got a lot in this community. Logic
Whatever you say is important, thing, but you chopped up. You chopped up.
Am I chopped up now?
Damn. Are you good now? You good now? Say what you're saying.
Maybe if I move over, am I good now? Okay.
Yeah, you good now.
So yeah. So the whole point, me even, because I was just listening, and I could have just stayed and you kept working, but I said what he said about the gorilla thing. Believe him. It sounds like he made that shit up, like he crazy. And this happens to me a lot. This happens to me a lot of the time, where niggas will sit there and had heard the same thing I heard, but they'll sit there and be quiet. and was like, well, I was just letting y'all hash it out. No, that ain't how shit works. That ain't how we get clarity on shit by just letting two motherfuckers argue. You have to have a mediator. Like you learn that in elementary school, right? To be a mediator, right? Somebody steps in and says, no, 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 Logic, you got that all wrong. Or yes, Logic, I heard the same thing. We got a problem in this community where we sit back and we let Logic look stupid. You see what I'm saying? And that I'm fed up with this community. Oh, I didn't hear it. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. Oh, he did it behind.
And Unc never gets that same pushback.
All the wild shit.
Unc never gets that
And nobody
pushback.
never gets the pushback.
But everybody
Go
else
ahead.
gets the pushback. But Unc don't get that push. Everybody, he the only one that gets every benefit of the doubt. Nobody else. Motherfucker, like it's fucking sickening. You feel me? Like Logic, literally, who in here think Logic is a fucking liar? Like, just say that shit. If Unc can get every benefit of the doubt, then Logic just must be a motherfucking liar. So y'all just need to just call a nigga a fucking liar. If every word that he say has to be put under a microscope and has to be 100% accurate at every time, but Uncs don't, then just call Logic and everybody else a fucking liar. That shit is infuriating sometimes. Like everybody else got, every T got to be dotted correctly. Everybody, any pushback is always going to come in the opposite direction. It's never going to come at you. That is crazy. You know what I mean? Like I don't. Yeah.
Even with the $10,000, Shepard. If we find out, this is how crazy this fucking community is. If we find out that it wasn't 10,000 and it was 11,500, it was 11,500, right?
They're gonna let that nigga stand on that.
And you can't believe a word.
Exactly.
You can't believe a word Logic said because he. You see what? And he's
breaking
crazy.
up. I hear you, but you're breaking up.
You breaking up, Corey.
Yeah, well, they're gonna say he crazy as fuck and he made the whole thing up because he got one wrong. Yeah, y'all.
But I thought that that's what y'all was talking about. You know what's funny? This whole time, after we got past the jokes and this, that, and the other, I thought we was talking about who's lying. I didn't know we were still like trying to find videos and who was in the Discord, this, that, and the third. I thought niggas was saying Logic and Corey was lying about the gorilla. Or that they made the shit up.
Right.
But then once we find out that that's not the case, then this morning I figured out that no, right. I found out that was the case. But then when y'all say y'all didn't watch the video, now in my opinion, the sunlight goes to Unc. Like, now are you lying? But nobody in here was saying that. That's why I brought it up. I wasn't trying to gaslight nothing. I'm saying, I'm trying to figure out, like, are we what kind of conversation are we having? Because if this is chickens and rams, because then it was like at one point in the video that's playing today, the video was like there wasn't no goats brought up, there wasn't no ram. We wasn't talking about rams, we just talking about this and the other. Then I'm listening to the video live, and the shit said, that's why I played that part for y'all. The shit said we sacrificed chickens, we was gonna go up to a ram. And then in the defense yesterday, it was nobody ever said nothing about a gorilla. But then I'm listening to it now, and I'm like, you said it right there. Like, and niggas was joking about going to go get a gorilla or some shit. So I'm trying to
just listen to it.
Yeah.
I just listened to it because I just pulled up, right? So I listen, and it start at this is why this conversation started, because you clarified about why he said don't say something now, everybody here, right? This is how the conversation first start off, right? Lottie said, okay, let me clear up the gorilla stuff, right? I'm paraphrasing, but this is kind of verbatim. He said, you know, with some guys, right? Y'all had sacrificed and then y'all had sacrificed a goat, and then y'all had paid $10,000 for a gorilla. Like that's what Lottie said. He said, y'all bought the gorilla for $10,000. And then I was like, bro, come on, bro. You lying. And then the story starts going on with that. Like he said, but when it got up to a gorilla, you was uncomfortable killing gorilla. And that's when the whole shit started going spiraling different ways at that. But it really started off with Lottie saying that Unc and them guys had paid $10,000 for a gorilla. Because at that point I came and I said, yo, can somebody tell me that nigga that whoever bought that gorilla for 10 bands?
Yeah. And
I
then
said, hook me up with him, bro.
Yeah,
I can flip that.
We even got his
I'll
name.
flip
It's
that.
Mike.
But here's the part. But okay. But in denying
No, you said Logic that they bought a gorilla. They paid $10,000 for a gorilla. They bought a gorilla. That's how the conversation started.
But even
So
in
if he told you
I
that,
never
okay,
said that
fine.
they got it.
That's the story.
I said that they. All right.
Bro, I just listened to it.
No, it's
You said
recorded. You can't say
y'all
it
bought.
hold on.
Yeah,
You say
it's recorded.
it's recorded.
Yeah, I can't
the
clip it because
question-
when I go to clip it, it's live, so it skips, so it just stops.
I could just
I'll
ask
clip
me,
it.
I could
I'll get it
download
later.
By the way, this is called Social World and you left. But the
I was definitely never under the impression that they bought the gorilla. But
No. But what I'm saying though is it got so wild that then Unc started saying he didn't tell Logic nothing about a gorilla. He said a chicken, and then we was going up to a rim. Where the fuck did you get gorilla from? So now you're saying, so now Logic just made up that it was a gorilla. So now somebody's lying. That's why the actual name of the shit after the show last night was going to be, I think somebody's lying.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't think nobody was lying. I think y'all they just got different, like they mixing it up. I figure when a story comes out, it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Cause I was like, Corey was like, I'm not that creative. I was like, you know what? Corey's not that creative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
but I said, but he hurt the cause when he said, sometimes I forget shit. I was like, damn, why you, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you shouldn't even throw that in the game.
Yeah, when y'all started walking
y'all started walking it back.
It just threw all the credibility out the window. I said
that's another thing. When
you say you heard it on the recording, I'm definitely not going to say.
Can he be honest?
Nah,
you can't be
Corey,
honest because that's gonna hurt you. You gotta lie. You gotta lie in this community.
But bro, Corey, if you're on trial and you sit on the witness stands and I'm the jury, because I don't know what's happening. No, but I'm saying I'm just you. Come on, Chef, don't do me like Logic. I'm just saying for example, because we're having a conversation. I'm saying like I'm like a juror. I'm trying to interpret what's happening. I don't know nothing, right? So if you introduce there, sometimes I forget shit. As a juror, I gotta be like, I gotta take it into consideration. That don't mean that you wrong, but you know what I mean? And I even said it on the video, I said, damn, I wish Corey hadn't said that part.
Right, but
now
check this out, Sosa. So, do you think you can have a honest conversation with me?
Yeah.
Okay, and I feel like I can have an honest conversation with you, right? Now, somehow, if me and you can have an honest conversation where we're not trying to get each other, then you'll accept certain little hiccups that I might make and try to see my overall point. You ain't gonna try to be, because we're just having an honest conversation, right?
Right.
Now, if Corey is thinking he's just having a regular honest conversation, then his mislaps in certain particulars, he's not thinking that everything is going to get hearkened on to. You dig what I'm saying? But that's not how everybody have conversations in here. So that's the problem. That's the problem. Nigga gotta
I
be.
feel like even with Corey though, even when he said that, I didn't automatically rule it out because I still had logic. And then I felt like you was gonna say, because I think at one point you said you heard a gorilla. And then you backed off it. But then I even explained, I said, I think you backed off it because the conversation would get me too intense.
Exactly.
And then blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, but I still had all that account. So I'm thinking like when the story comes out, it's gonna be it ain't gonna be quite exactly how everybody gonna have something right. So everybody has some parts of it a little wrong. But all the pieces in there. I don't know about the 10 bands now. I don't know.
Nah,
That's
but
what I said. The 10 bands is the
saying?
only thing that's
nah,
not
but you're
confirmed.
And
skipping
that
the most.
and Logic said they purchased the gorilla. They bought the gorilla.
No, but you're
Because that's
skipping
why
the
I
most
came out like,
important
yo,
piece though. They
how
never
can you
saw
buy
the
a gorilla?
video. They never saw that video.
Oh,
So he had
no,
to
no,
have
we
told
already
them that
passed
shit.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, we already passed that. That's what I'm
Yeah, like,
saying. There's different. You already passed that. There's different versions of the story going around. Remember, I
yeah,
talked about that before when I did. Before I did, I said if I know
yeah.
pieces, like I said, a nigga could be more jovial because I do that at times. I
Now,
might tell somebody half of the story. I might not tell the whole story because I don't feel like elaborating. I
but
might
now
not
I'm
be
about
on
to
that.
put
Then
some.
another
Now I'm
time
about to
I
put
might
some.
just
Hold on.
elaborate.
I need your logical brain, not your African mind from yesterday that I was out
Can't
of.
think outside my
No,
African
yeah,
mind.
yeah. I know I was
I'm always logical.
yesterday.
I'm always
I need
logical.
your
I'm always
logical
logical.
brain, right? Whatever mind you in, I just
Shout
need
out
one
to
of them.
Sosa for that one.
Yeah, shout out. I'm
Shout
out
out
of my
to you.
African mind. I almost want to do a show about that.
Yeah.
If a motherfucker tell you a story about sacrificing chickens updated to a ram, and then say, and this other crazy nigga said gorilla, is it really a stretch though that the motherfucker said he instead of saying a gorilla? I'm trying to
Stretch
find the
that's
$10,000 for logic. I gotta admit that
it's not
I'm
a
being
stretch.
biased right now. Is it a stretch
It's
that
not a stretch,
if
Brad.
logic? Hold on. If logic heard, I want to get it out because this is a show. So, and then I know I got your stance. I kind of already knew your answer was rhetorical, but if I'm told logic the story in that way and said, yeah, some crazy nigga said a fucking gorilla, it's just as equally plausible that just in jest, Unc would have said, yeah, some nigga said you can get a gorilla for $10,000. Believe that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like not being serious.
Yeah, that's not out of the realm.
Right.
That's not out of the realm
Right.
of
So I don't even.
possibility.
That's why I say
Like that.
10,000
But
ain't even.
I'm saying if you listen to the show, right? My the part that threw me off
Is that he said he
completely
bought it?
is the purchasing
Yeah,
of the.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Immediately
No.
have to
I
come in
agree.
like, yo.
I
You
agree.
know what I'm saying?
And
Because
that's
you
why
keep
I
acting
say,
like
what's the
somebody
point?
did.
I
Listen,
mean,
you keep
even if
acting
I
like
said that, that'll
somebody
never
didn't
get
come up
hung
to
up
me.
on.
Listen, you keep telling me that you keep acting like somebody didn't actually come up to me and tell me they sacrificed a chicken, and when like, yeah, that really
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. No,
So
but
you
logic that is
it's
something to
like,
get hung up on because that's what I was saying yesterday. Hold on.
yeah,
That's what I was saying yesterday. That, and I said it on the recording. I think I said it right after that. The actual issue is that if you believe that they went and bought a gorilla and your solution was to join the pseudo killers Discord after that, then there's something wrong with you. Like it ain't nothing wrong with him. And that, remember I said that? Because I actually heard you did say that they bought it. I don't even know how you do the process of actually buying. So it's just
Yeah,
it's
I
just
might
a
have,
brain.
I might have been tripping. I might have been tripping. I can own up to my mistakes.
Yeah.
But the point of
because it got
contention
to the
was
point,
is that
Lodge,
they were
where
saying that
I'm
there
not
was
even
no gorilla.
questioning. Yeah, because it got to the point, Lodge, I wouldn't even question your account of the story at this point. I'm like, yo, how did you allow it to go further? Like at that point, that's my whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, nigga, you should have shut that down. Like, how do you
yeah.
even get there without being like, you feel me?
You should have
Like,
never
it would have
You're
blew up
right, but
at
I'm
that
saying that the
point.
same thing actually happened last night, though, right? Because it come to find out he did have a connect on a gorilla, or at least somebody claimed they had a connect on a gorilla, and ain't nobody questioned
Somebody
that shit.
claimed that they could get
I
one.
didn't get that.
Yeah, but if you'd have told me somebody said that they can get one, it would have been funny, but it wouldn't have been that wild. But when you told me they actually attained it, you see what I'm saying? Like, listen,
Yeah, but
niggas say wild shit all the
if I
time.
said that, if I said that, I overshot the mark. If I said
Yeah,
that.
Because niggas say people say wild shit all the time, but then when they tell you they actually got it, then you like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I had nigga, I can get you grenade launches, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
that ain't my fault,
whatever.
man. Unc was working so hard to wiggle out that shit. I had to say everything, man. So he done threw everything at the kitchen sink at me before, so you can't blame me. I had to do what I had to do.
Then the mocking human was hilarious. Like it just kept getting funnier. Yeah.
You know what? I really need to ask why wasn't the chicken enough? That I actually need that answer. I forgot to ask him that. Why did they ever decide this chicken ain't doing it? We need to go up. I need to know that. What was the logic behind that shit?
The sins was
I went
still
out
there.
for a minute. I went out
Their
for a minute.
sins was still that chicken ain't get all them sins off of them.
Yeah, because see,
That
I don't
nigga
know the
had so
whole
much
thing.
sins
Like, I
on
don't.
him. Look, you know they must have had so much sin on them that the nigga said, "Oh, the chicken ain't working." Matter of fact, I got a ram. Matter of fact, y'all niggas got so much sin on y'all. Y'all gonna need a gorilla.
y'all gonna need 4 rams at the same time. You know what? Matter of fact, I got something better, nigga.
That priest was just saying y'all niggas souls is fucked up around here. Like I'm getting all kind of bad juju when y'all come around. Like this chicken shit ain't working.
I'm just
Yeah,
picturing.
y'all ain't finna
I
keep coming
keep
up here every
picturing in
week,
my
nigga. Y'all gonna have to
head.
go ahead,
Hey,
go ahead.
Logic. I keep picturing in my head 4, 5 grown ass niggas
yeah.
in a graveyard. Right?
Sometimes the shotgun screw is so helpful. Bro, we cannot understand what you're saying, Corey.
Oh
You chopped
God.
up. As soon
Okay,
as
let me
you, as
I'm
move
soon
over
as
catching
you
the
here.
gist
start,
of
Let me
it.
move.
yeah, as soon as you start, you
'Cause
shit chops up.
that I can explain it too, dog. Cause that image be burning in my head too. I'm trying to imagine some niggas standing around some
The
candles
image
on the altar,
of
nigga.
5 niggas. Yeah, it's 5 niggas. Just imagine they behind the Kinkos. It's 5 niggas behind the Kinkos, and they
Once
sacrificing
again.
animals in the middle of Atlanta, bro. Like, how is that not
See,
wild as fuck to y'all?
see, but see, Chef though, see, Corey tried to get the niggas. Y'all saying like,
Wait, say it again. What you saying,
No,
Sosa?
I mean, is that
Wait.
not the? Am I lying?
I said
No,
What
like,
am
wait,
I
wait,
lying
Corey.
about?
Wait a second, Corey.
no, but I
Don't go
said
back
like,
on mute. Don't go back on mute. I
I'm
just want to
saying
hear what
like
you're supposed to say. Say what you're saying.
some parts of these conversations, right? Cause there's a lot of other shit going on, a lot of personal shit going on, right? Niggas is trying to get niggas. You know what I'm
I
saying?
told
Like we
you.
gotta
See,
be
that's what I'm
upfront.
saying.
We got like I ain't
Just
like you
say,
get like
no.
niggas is trying to
Just
get niggas.
say, no,
You
that's
know
what
what
I'm saying. Just come out and say. That's what I told him. I said, bro, I don't, at this point, we just talking about lying. And let's just say that, bro. Or let's just say, I think you a liar or you think I'm a liar and just move from there. And that's a better space.
Cause it's
It
so
might be
much.
more fiery. It might be fiery. But I think you will actually
It's
be
too
able to
much.
move forward though. So we
Listen,
ain't gotta
because I
talk
feel
about
like
what
it's
we're
Niggas
too
gonna do.
definitely
much.
calling each other
Being
liars.
Right.
yeah,
That's the real
it's too
story.
much on.
That's
Yeah,
the
so
real
just
shit.
say it.
Yeah,
So
Just say
niggas
it.
is going
it's
around the
too much.
mulberry bush when niggas just think niggas is lying.
Just say it though. Just say that
That's
shit.
why the shit
Right.
is not getting no fucking where.
Yeah, and we
Like
ain't gotta
niggas
be
just can't be
loud. It don't gotta
honest.
be it don't gotta be for
It costs too.
entertainment. This shit
It
could be
costs too
private.
much to be wrong. It's like it's costing too much to just be wrong. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
Bro, but see,
like
so hold on. Am I
it
such a
costs
square?
too much.
Yeah, but am I such a fucking square? When he said he
Yes.
sacrificed a fucking chicken, that was enough that we was thinking about updating the
Well, yeah,
rim and walking in graveyards and shit. Like, why would you be
yeah. I'm
concerned
not gonna
about
say
the
it.
gorilla? You don't give a fuck that you was doing all the other shit and how that looks. Why would you care how you
Yeah.
look for the other shit? That shit is just as wild. A nigga just told me the other day he paid $20 for the name Unk from the New Orleans. That's even wilder to me than all this
I
shit.
get it.
There
Yeah,
is
but
nothing you ain't got nothing to
I'm
lose
from
with
a
me at
place.
this point. I believe
I'm from a
anything. The
place
Overton window
where
is out of here. I could believe
I'm from a
anything. If you
place.
tell me he killed fucking
Listen,
OJ's
Brass.
wife at this point, I would believe it. It wouldn't matter.
I'm from a. But listen, I'm from a place where people do root and shit like that. Like, yeah. So when as a child when I was younger, like yeah, that's that. Yeah, people did shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, root and sprinkle salt around your bed at night,
Right?
and before you
No
move in the
problem.
house, you gotta have shit like it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
So wait.
yeah.
Juxtapose
So it's not
me.
like I
Juxtapose
get it.
me in Ohio. Okay, cool. Juxtapose me in Ohio. Me and you meeting at school. Let's say we went to South Carolina Gamecocks University, and you told me that story as my roommate the first night. I would be looking at this nigga like I don't even want him to be my roommate. Let's just say you just started off a conversation, or we knew each other for like a
I
week,
get it.
and you was like, yeah, and you started sprinkling salt through the door, and I said, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? I gotta sweep that shit up. And you're like, nah, I gotta keep the evil spirits out of here, and this, that, and the other. Bro, I would leave the room. I'd go to the fucking the
Yeah, I get
headmaster
it.
and say, bro, I gotta go. And I wouldn't be wrong,
Yeah,
and
I
you
get
wouldn't
it.
be wrong.
Yeah,
That's
that's why I said it's
America.
subjective. That's why
Yeah,
it's subjective.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to
My
figure
cousin
out the
still
other
do it.
day with Gullah.
My
Gullah
cousin
was like,
still do it.
I'm
They
offended.
move into a
Nigga,
house.
you're offended by my ignorance.
When they move into a house, like the spirits has to be flushed out. So they're gonna have to take stage and go
You still
about
do
the
that?
house. Yeah, my cousins still do that.
No, do you still do that?
Still got family. I'm atheist, bruh.
I have family too that
Why
do
would I
that.
do that?
No, I'm just asking. Well, I'm okay. Hold on.
No, I'm
There
saying
are atheists that go to funerals and shit in church.
if you're not,
Hey,
not an atheist,
yesterday when I said I was hold on. Hey, yesterday when I said I was offended, I said I was just bullshit. I really ain't offended, but you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I didn't hear that.
It is
I didn't
it
hear
is
that. Okay.
ignorant as hell. But I don't know. Y'all niggas be just hearing whatever the hell y'all want to hear. Cause y'all say something, y'all go on with it like I didn't say it at all.
Gullah, it ain't that, honestly. So much shit be getting said in here. I got 5 screens up right now. I'm recording. I'm working on the show with Biblical DNA. I'm doing some other shit for myself. And I'm filling out fucking paperwork for a doctor also. I'm doing 7 things. I'm not going to hear everything that y'all say. If other people want to run the shows, I will listen fully intently. And we're live on YouTube. I'm in the comments.
No, you won't.
So I'm not going to hear
No,
everything
you
y'all
won't.
say.
Time.
Yeah, I'm
no,
not
you
going
won't.
to
You're
hear.
not going to listen to stuff.
Yeah, I might be.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if I was, just so y'all probably don't play the video game. I'm not listening to all this shit. Y'all fuck. Do you know y'all literally fucked up the word?
Yeah,
gorilla?
but nah, I don't switch it. Just for clarity.
Yeah. We didn't hear it. It got you.
I mean, it obviously was a damn exaggeration.
Yeah.
It obviously was a damn exaggeration, though. That's like a nigga you know that sell cars or some shit. He like shit. I can get you a motherfucking G-Wagon or some shit. You know, it's fucking exaggeration. Y'all niggas carrying this shit on. Shit, fucking move on to the next shit. Y'all niggas, whoever he was talking to, obviously was exaggerating. It's like he was just basically saying, I can get you any fucking animal. Okay, move on. Y'all niggas like taking out of context. Like this is like high school shit.
I don't think you heard the last 3. See, this is what I mean, Gullah. You be coming into the conversation late. We already did exactly what you said. We had a whole other place about the shit. We done tried to move on 1,000 times. Unc already been in here. We're not talking about clarity anymore. We're very clear now. We're just trying to sort out. We're trying to sort out some man shit at this point.
No, it's not fair. It's not fair because we get that ridicule, right? When Unc is the one that really miscategorized the whole thing. He could have cleared the shit up yesterday, but he made it seem like niggas was fucking liars. But then we
never get it.
doing some child. That's that shit. Wow, Joe. That's wild. Wow.
So I got my book in the mail yesterday.
How does that keep happening?
Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now?
I was about to say
yes.
Hey, listen, Sosa and Brass and everybody on the panel. Y'all can't picture that in y'all head, bro. Every time I think about it, it's wild. It get wilder and wilder. You got 5 grown men.
You do not give up.
5 grown men. And they in the middle of Atlanta behind a Kinko's. They behind a Kinko's in the graveyard. And they're sacrificing animals. And here we are talking about getting clarity. See, this is why
I don't want clarity.
I don't think I belong here. I don't think I belong.
I don't need clarity.
Here. I don't think I belong here.
I don't.
Clarity. I think I know why y'all. I think I know why y'all think I'm crazy. I think I know why y'all thought I was lying yesterday. I think because
Nobody said you was
anytime
Nobody
lying.
said you was
Yeah,
lying.
I didn't think
y'all
you were
thought
lying.
y'all thought it.
As
Y'all
soon
didn't
as
say
you
it. Y'all thought it. Y'all
I
didn't
no.
say
said
it. Y'all
you
thought it.
direct.
Now I'm gonna give you
Jesus
clarity.
Christ.
No, I'm gonna give you clarity.
I just thought it
When
was a
you
funny ass
said it,
story.
hold on. When you said gorilla, Corey, is when I knew Logic was telling the truth. I thought Logic was capping. I thought Logic threw some sauce on it and then stood on it. I thought that nigga said, "Yeah, nigga, gorilla." And then I'm like, that's why, I said it in the video. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? And then and then when he kept saying it over and over again, I'm like, oh man, I hope I ain't gotta go with this. This shit ain't no gorilla. And then when you said it and specifically said gorilla, out of all the shit in Animal Kingdom, you said gorilla too. And then you said Chef heard it too. That's when I was like, we're actually talking about a gorilla, because I thought the whole shit was funny. So I didn't think he was lying at any point.
Bro,
You
he
actually
got a
confirmed
stick
that Logic
out of the
was telling the truth.
graveyard. He got a stick out
Why
the
do you keep
graveyard
no?
and start rubbing. He start rubbing blood on it. And now y'all, like, I can't, dude. Like, for y'all to blow past that, like that ain't
No,
that
I'm not
nothing
blowing.
wrong with
No. Ain't nobody
and then he
blowing
Man,
got a
past.
picture. And
Ain't
then he
nobody
got a
blowing
picture
past
of
it,
it,
bro.
though, Brad.
here's what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
but I
Like
Brad,
don't want to
this,
talk
what? But
about
Brad,
listen though.
it.
Here's
That's
what I'm
all.
saying.
We
Like,
ain't blowing past it. I don't want to
here's what
talk
I'm.
about
Here's
there's
what I'm
a
saying though. In terms of
picture.
like,
No,
I
Brad.
actually
Hold
think
on, hold
I'm
on.
dumb. I think
Brad,
I'm looking stupid at this point, even talking about
Brad. No, listen, Brad. There's a picture with this guy. Stick, the stick with the blood rubbed on it. It's on, man.
I don't know if it's just me or he
it. Oh
breaking up.
my god, bro. He ain't gonna let that shit go. I think
Is he
Corey,
breaking
to
up?
be honest,
Am I
I'm
breaking
on
up?
mute. I'm breaking. No, you're not breaking up. My whole thing is, it's not that I want to move past it because whether it's right or wrong, I already felt stupid when I realized we were seriously talking about a gorilla yesterday. And now I feel even dumber because it's like now we're trying, like, this shit, I don't even want to talk about it. I haven't even said this word gorilla this much in a long. So it ain't gonna come. If it's about lions, say that. If we talking about gorillas, say that. But I don't think we talking about gorillas. And that's probably something maybe you call a nigga and talk to him about versus try to do it on a live. Because now, that's like, it's defamation. But then when y'all go do a show, it don't help though, so to be honest with you. When y'all go do a show and try to make Logic look absolutely fucking crazy, he's not wrong to try to sort the shit out publicly at that point. Because the way that shit came across last night, it looked like he just made up a fucking story about like he's like he's just a lying ass fanned out ass nigga, and that ain't the case.
Yeah,
So
you know what would be the fair retort is if I flip that logic around and show how cultish that thinking is over there. That they saw the story and still somehow missed my point, missed Unk's point, and still didn't gather that gorilla
you got
was
the charger.
about to get killed, nigga. That was the point of the whole story. Yes, that gorilla almost got sacrificed.
Yeah. When motherfuckers be talking about get your lick back, that lick back, if you do it in public, that lick back might have to be public. And that's the thing. That's the crux of the argument. But whatever you want
That's
to
it.
do is up to you. I'll back you up. If you want to go live, I'll still back you up, my nigga. But at this point,
I'm gonna figure it out. If I
At
had to
this
be
point, y'all is talking about
completely
somebody
honest,
lying. Logic.
if
You gotta know
wait.
that.
No, so okay, so you do agree, Chef?
Yeah,
Or
at
am
this
I
point,
throwing
y'all
stuff
actually
on?
is talking about somebody is lying. So if
Right.
you don't want to go down that road, Logic, you should just leave it alone.
And let's hear what I'm saying
I'm having
too.
thoughts, right? Because honestly, the way that show went, right, as funny as it was, I don't think it was very flattering.
No,
If
it
you
It
had to
wasn't.
ask
wasn't.
me,
It
but
Why
wasn't.
you think? Why do you
it
think I went up
absolutely
there?
wasn't.
No, why you think I went up there? As soon as I
That
realized
was
that
that
the
show.
framing, no, as soon as I realized that the framing was about to be that a sane human being that everybody know as saying, just all of a sudden, out of the figment of his imagination, tried to make a show about finding a gorilla, whatever the fuck. That's when I realized, like, hell no. Nah. That's why I said, I think that memory shit is about you. I don't think that shit is about
everybody.
Like,
everybody.
Yeah, but that ain't how that was being framed.
Nah.
And you
Yeah, it was definitely framed as in as if my mental lapses is where the story comes from.
That was painted as Logic's mental
Come on,
framing
Sosa.
was fucked up. Come on, Sosa, don't do that.
That's why he called it a teaching
was
moment.
Not somehow to make
that's what he calls it a teaching moment.
It's right. But in terms of story, we know about the gorilla part. I didn't know about the shit, right? When you look at the whole thing in totality, they gave definitions of right about phenomena, brain phenomena, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just for it's what happens with people when stories are told.
Mm-hmm.
So we listen to the show, you hear all parts of the conversation, you'll see that everybody had bits and pieces and all had shit fucked up.
Mm-hmm. And to
you know
the audience, right? But you include the audience, right? The audience thought Logic was absolutely making up a story. And I'm looking at the chat right now.
Well, no, because
still thought Logic made up that story.
When you play back, the gorilla was there. Even in the story. The Logic had talked about a gorilla. I didn't know about a gorilla, but in the video playback, the gorilla was actually in the story.
Right. But the whole
so he wasn't wrong about the gorilla. He was only wrong about.
So why wasn't the gorilla in the story that you heard though, Sosa?
But I already explained that shit. I can only give you my opinion. I don't want to call nobody a liar because I can only give you my opinion. Right? And I told you, like, sometimes when people elaborate, people may not feel the need to go further. I don't think it was a long conversation when we had it.
Right. So the point is that the person whose story it is conveyed different pieces of the story to different people.
Got it. Yeah, we
so everything about the story other than the $10,000 was spot on.
And the gorilla being purchased, that the gorilla was bought.
No, I said the $10,000 would go to the purchase. I'm saying everything about the story was correct.
They actually acquired a gorilla.
Yeah, and the $10,000.
Yeah, that and that was part was off, and that they didn't even graduate past the ram. It stopped at the chicken. There wasn't no need to even get a gorilla. They didn't even get past the ram to get to the gorilla.
Yeah,
they never sacrificed
how do you get involved in a conversation about a gorilla unless y'all get past the ram?
No, because the seller could be doing that, right? Like you can go to the car dealership right now to get a Nissan Maxima.
Down the wrong way. Turn around. Let's get back on point, y'all.
Because it could have just been said in jest. There's so many reasons, Logic. There was never a point. I fully understand that there was never a point where they were seriously discussing. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. And if you think that, then that's something separate. But I'm saying if you have that conversation, but nowhere in this conversation do I think that they were actually that it got to the point where they were seriously.
Let me. I'm gonna let you finish. And let me just say what I'm saying.
I think it was just said in jest. But you say what you say.
Yeah, I'm more so describing that. Okay, the blood of the ram would have been too much for you. So your friend group already knows that. And then some kind of way you get involved in a conversation about an even bigger animal. Now, whether you killed that goat or not, I'm saying that you were still around that group after they were talking about doing the goat or they actually did the goat. I'm not implying that he did the goat. I'm saying that he was still around them conversations about sacrificing animals even after the goat. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I think, like, I don't know the whole gist of it. A lot of it, I don't know if you watched the video. From how he explained it, it seemed like all that happened at the same time. Remember, because he was like, "Yo, remember niggas talking about getting?" Because I'm gonna be said ram, right? In the ram, yeah. Then one dude was like, "Get you a gorilla," and they started laughing. like all of that was, it might seem like that was all a part of the same conversation that they would have one day. But they had already decided from the chicken, I don't want to go no further. Once they did, that's why dude was like, yo, man, I'm telling you, you get the hard dude in the street, you give them that chicken, bro, it's hard. They gonna run, bro. So he was saying he couldn't, they barely got through the chicken. That's what he was so that's why that part of it is a little skewed. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna hang up on that. I was just making a point of clarity. That's what I was saying about the ram to the gorilla part. Let's not get hung up on that.
Or as a newcomer to the chat, what brought on this whole topic? Was it a cult talk? Was it specifically to address that particular incident?
Colts.
Okay. Now here's what now the cult talk is a good conversation to have, but somewhere in between having a good shit just went left.
Yeah. Actually, we wanted to get back to.
You just need to type, Joey. You need to type.
You gotta hit me. Hit me. Actually, we wanted. I think Sister Sapa said she already got her Naeem Akbar, Know Thyself. I downloaded it. And then Juju told me about another book, but she told me about a better book. I can't remember the name right now. Something about breaking chains, some shit like that. I
Breaking the
downloaded that one
Psychological Chains of Slavery. That's better than Know Thyself.
Yeah, and then Mujasi told me the same thing too. He was like, I told him I had Know Thyself. He was like, but yeah, I'm gonna read that book. He said that was part of his thing. I think he taught at FSU for like 30 years. So we're gonna see what it is. So
you say scamming.
Hey, and right,
scamming for 30 years. That's what he's doing.
Man, y'all with these scamming. I don't know about all that. Everybody got the bend.
It ain't got to
be. Y'all think everything is a nail at this point.
It don't have to be your point, bro. I can have my own opinion, bro. I have my own opinion.
Yeah, I think. So I'm listening to Amos Wilson too. I listen to some lectures, and I think based on what Amos Wilson said, he's out. So yeah. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause after what he said, he said he's racist.
Wilson, what? What you mean?
Based on what some of the stuff Amos Wilson talked about, you gonna say he's racist. So he's gonna have to be thrown out. I'm gonna clip it.
It's what it is. Mr. Safa, I just want to say in real time, you seen what I mean when we start talking about this shit.
Ain't doing that with Amos Wilson.
See, I just want you to be real, just clear that it wasn't us that brought this conversation up, and then we gonna start talking about it. They're gonna say
let me say a couple of things. I just want to make sure I'm clear when I'm over here or anywhere that I'm an independent person and that I do not speak for the PKs. I just want to make sure I'm making that clear. I don't want anyone over here or over there to be thinking that I'm speaking for some group or another. And that's that. As far as the conversation, it really doesn't matter who brings up the conversation. I think it's all good content, and I think we don't have to take it so seriously. I think we could just have nice lighthearted discussions. It can get a little spicy when we're having some debates or whatever, but it should just more so be kind of lighthearted and not taken so seriously. I think that's one of the main problems that I have with some of this, because obviously some of these stories are crazy, no matter who's telling the truth or not. But I just don't think we should be so serious about it. That's what I'm thinking.
I appreciate that clarity, because a lot of times I did think he was speaking for the PK. So I appreciate you clearing that up. That was probably more for me, or at least I had the most appreciation for it, I think. So appreciate that, sister, and I appreciate your independence, and I'll look at your comments more in that light from now on.
Thanks, Corey.
I stepped away for a second. All right, but look, Amos Wilson. Yeah, we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back to where we're gonna get back. Y'all ain't finna distract me with the gorilla in the video for 3 days.
let's get to the Amos
Y'all
Wilson
trying to
because
cut me off.
I'm ready
Grass,
to kill you on Amos
Grass,
Wilson.
you
But
got
go
something to
ahead,
say?
though.
No, I know, Sister Safa.
Go ahead.
It's
Go
just
ahead.
it's
Hey, Miss
just
Grass.
best. It's no. It's just best that I don't speak my mind because I'm a troublemaker. I already know it. I appreciate your contribution to this server. That's it. Y'all go
Listen,
ahead.
and I just
I don't
speak,
want to do it.
I speak the truth on either side. And like I told you guys yesterday, Sosa can tell you that sometimes even over there in the PK Discord, me and Unc have had some exchanges where we're not in total agreement, and with everybody else. So Sosa can bear
Hey,
witness
babe,
to
can you
that.
give me that? Babe,
Yeah,
can you
different
give me
stuff.
that?
Atheism,
Can you give me that
some
cap
stuff.
over there and put it? Make sure you put a cap on that that lid. Okay. I thought I was in on mute.
No, we have many disagreements over that. Atheism and Gnosticism, all type of shit.
Yeah. We definitely disagreeing all the time.
Shit, they give me a goddamn dog. Shit. Anyway, all right, listen, y'all trying to distract with this gorilla.
It's the
We still got to
defense.
get to Amos Wilson.
Don't let this
Gotta get
gorilla shit go.
Y'all
Let
want
the
me to say
gorilla die.
something. It's like y'all want me to say something, bro. Y'all
We got to
defense
get back.
of this shit be so crazy to me.
Naeem
We
Akbar.
we disagree. Y'all got it,
Nah,
bro.
we ain't feeling. And then Amu Jossie got some pieces he want to add, and I got some pieces with him too. I know some stuff he probably I don't even know, but I'm thinking some stuff.
Fight Logic, bro. Fight Logic.
Yeah.
Logic hates Amos Wilson, Naeem Akbar. I think they're amazing
Hey,
human
Amos
beings.
Wilson too. Amos Wilson too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We gonna walk down with it. You gonna value part scholars from that time period.
I don't. At this moment, I don't know so much about Amos Wilson, but I can say that there's a running theme of trying to use unscientific methods as far as therapy for people. So it kind of wouldn't surprise me if that's in there somewhere. He might not. He could very well be not as egregious as some other people, and maybe not have done it at all. So I'm not gonna go there with Amos Wilson. I ain't really look at him like that. I've always said that he seems to be an outsider though. He don't seem to be running with the gang. Like he ain't with Dr. Ben and them. He not. Naeem Akbar is absolutely with Dr. Ben and them, 100%.
Hey, Logic, do you think it's helpful
Yeah.
to say the dominant whites are not going to prepare us to fully compete with them? You think it's helpful to say that?
Say that again.
The dominant whites are
It's
not
what?
going to are not going to prepare us to fully compete with them. Where does that fall for you?
Harsh reality.
Okay.
I don't know about so much as racism.
Okay. What about everything the black man wants to do enriches the European?
Now that's going a bit far.
Okay.
You're definitely starting to stretch whatever point you were trying to make. Is almost like you're demonizing all actions that would be Western oriented at that point. But go ahead.
So where did that fall for you?
Because that's like don't vote, don't go to school.
I ain't even looking at it that way. That's why I asked you. I'm trying to figure out if that seems a little crazy to me. And I can't really because
It seems crazy. I don't know about racist. It definitely is crazy.
But I think you have to get into the mind of the man to understand why the man would say that.
That's impossible though.
I don't need to understand nobody that's telling me to not vote and not go to school. I can argue automatic whatever conclusion, however he got to that conclusion. I don't care.
What he's saying is, in that time, everything that the black man would do was only to enrich the white man. It wasn't about knowledge of self and culture. You're doing something that you think is right, but when you become famous in American society, you're wearing gold chains, you're walking around with all these designer clothes on, all these cars, and you never invested in gold. You never invested in
invested in what?
You never invested in a gold mine to wear gold.
In a gold mine? Is that what you said?
because
We can't. I mean, I would love to have amazing conversations with you, but I can't hear you.
no. What I'm saying is, we like gold and jewelry, but we never think to go to Africa and invest in gold. We never think to go to Africa and buy the beautiful tent cloth, make a beautiful outfit. We never think to go and buy a car dealership. We don't invest in these things. So we're enriching the white man. We're talking about Bugatti, which half of us probably can't spell. And we don't make nothing. We consume everything on the planet Earth. We don't fight for our brother.
That's not what that's saying, yo.
What is this weed?
That's
What
not
is
what
this
that's
weed?
saying.
Yeah. No, but what is this?
What the
But now
direct
I'm
quote is, anything a black
it's
man
the
wants to do.
Hey,
no, but
listen,
what's
when
the
when they
difference?
when they had these conversations, right, and they say things like we and us, like it's not a literal like a they're speaking to the group, right? So it's like what I mean, like so if it
No.
don't hit there, you know what I mean,
That
like
ain't what I mean. That ain't what I mean, Sosa. I know what you mean. I'm trying to figure out what he means because this is new. I don't know his perspective. Do you think if I go to Africa and invest in a gold mine versus buying a gold bar here, I'm somehow helping the people? Or
What
I
I'm saying
don't
is,
know.
what I'm saying is this: when you invest in something, it helps the people because they will be mistreated, and you're bringing jobs to them, and it helps you. You want to look, but at the same time, you're invested in something that is valuable. Gold has a value at this point in time. That
Yeah,
gold chain
but
around your neck has a goddamn bit of value. But then two gold bricks that you might put in the safe have value right now. And maybe 2, 3 years from now, God forbid something happen to you, your wife and your kids can take that out and sell that and do that. I don't mind wearing the gold. But back
have
in the
you ever
time when
bought
you
gold before?
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah,
now,
have you ever bought gold before?
no, but I have not.
No,
I
man,
don't
I'm
know
just
what he
if you
talking about,
never
yo.
no, I'm saying if you never bought gold before, that might if I can so for example, I don't gotta go to Africa to a mine to buy gold from that mine to support it. Like you can use that part is it's when you buying gold when you're buying gold bricks, gold bars, gold nuggets, whatever it is you're doing, unprocessed gold, whatever it is, you can actually buy it here in the United States from
From who?
there.
From who? You're buying it from the Bears and all of these people who are dealing with these immoral rulers and leaders of the country pissing all over their people. So there's a benefit to people if you buy from the
Yeah,
Bears.
but what if I'm afraid to buy it from Ibrahim? But what if I'm afraid to buy it from Ibrahim?
But
Like
just then,
what if I don't want to fly to Africa and try to have a conversation with Ibrahim to buy gold bricks and never make it back to my family possible?
but bro, if you're gonna take a chance on somebody, you might as well
Huh?
say if you're gonna take a chance that your people are civilized enough not to slaughter you in the street because you're living in America and you know the white man don't give a shit about it. They kill you for less than that.
Yeah, but
That's naive as shit, yo.
You know what I'm
what?
saying? If you're gonna take a chance on your own people,
Right. Okay. Wait. I know by blood, by ancestry, those are my people. But if I just walk up to them, do you think that? Do you think like in a place I don't know? Hold on. I live next to. Hold on. I live next to Times Square, New York City.
okay.
Those people there look at me. I don't think they're gonna be looking at me if I just walk around a place I have no idea, no connection that I know of, this and the other. I can't just I don't think I could just go some in Africa and just start doing that just willy nilly and not have some kind of rationality of safety in my life.
Okay, Brad, that's a fair statement, but they have countries who will welcome you and there's no way you're welcome. If you
How
think
the
that
hell would I know? I don't speak the language.
everybody in, but they speak English in Africa, bro. They
And
will
so
kind of like,
please don't die on the hill that everybody in Africa speaks English.
I'm not going to say that, but there are
Okay.
a lot of.
So how would I know who is doing what? Or when they say, "Hey, let's go into this room," like that's such a. I put like this, and now I'm gonna take it even further. I wouldn't go to London and do that. Just to go buy gold bars with thousands of dollars to make a couple $100,000 transaction in gold bars. I wouldn't go to any foreign country and go do that. Now, I'm sure there are people that will, but I'm sure, just in my own opinion, maybe unless you buy in the whole mind, I don't think it's no African Americans, and I could be wrong. I don't think it's no African Americans that get on planes to go to Africa because they want to buy some gold and just go walking up to mines like, where's the mine at? Can I buy gold? That ain't even how that works.
That you do that, saying you should go to countries that you
It's like
want as Black people in the diaspora and work it out that way. And then you know when you come, you'll be safe. I'm not saying just walk up to a random gold mine. Give me some of the shit I got from you. No. Who would do that? But there are people who you can talk to and who will welcome you. And you could have a nice conversation with like you're talking with. And so you're willing to actually go to the country and do business. I'm not saying just walk up in a random. No, I understand that. But our people are not so irrational. And in literally they're doing the business. Have a conversation and see how it works out.
Yeah, I think we can have a good conversation. I
It's
think
supposed to
we
bring
can
up
have a good conversation about that though. The and I said we for a reason. I think we can have a good conversation about the we and the like when I'm doing stuff and trying to do it in the name of this thing.
Yeah, you're this
I think
this
I'd like to have
political
that
alliance that you're
conversation.
coming
Yeah, I'd have to do. I'd like to have that conversation.
you're basing that on a lot of predispositions that we don't exactly know where you get it. You know what I'm saying? We don't know where you're getting your particular political affiliation from, how it lines up with me or what I want for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a lot of that you almost are expecting me to just have naturally, as you put it. That's kind of a lot of what you're saying in there. Not that what you're saying don't sound good or don't sound like it's beneficial, but I'm saying like it's predicated around a lot of stuff that we wouldn't technically agree on.
how would I say this logic? I'm accustomed to dealing with people who may be a little bit more pro-African and willing to take a
A little bit more what?
Pro-African.
Who is more willing to take the pro-African stance than African or I realize that is not the rumor. So
But it's not gonna work. You can't make out.
Can I slow you down for a second? Hold up, guys. Hold up. How do you define what a pro-African standpoint is? Did you come up with that?
No. I didn't make up the
Who
word
told
African.
you what the African wanted? Did the African tell you that?
That's not what he means. We gotta come a little better at understanding the terminology.
I can't even hear him. Forget understanding.
I know what he think he means, so I'm trying to figure out like where he getting it from.
When somebody says pro-African, we got to know what that means, or pro-Black.
No, I'm starting to realize. No, I'm starting to realize that they get that from this particular niche, right? So I'm trying to get him to say that, yeah, you got it from this thing because you didn't even start talking like that until you got around this thing. So I'm trying to figure out. I want to follow you. You know what I'm saying? Whether that leads to me being right or you being wrong, but where did you get this I'm helping Africa shit from? Did an African tell you, hey, if you do this, you're going to help out Africa?
What I'm saying is this. I listen to enough people to understand that there are countries in Africa that will certainly welcome you and welcome your daughter because they need it. But you have to be willing to accept it and possibly talk to them to hear their point of view. And I realize in this particular circle, it's not what I would consider pro-African or Afro, not that particular people that I'm talking to now. They're not just going to do something because they're African. It's not a quote unquote blackety black pro-African Afrocentric movement, and that's okay. But you have to be willing.
Let me tell y'all this.
Not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, how did you determine that your actions were pro-African? Who told you that?
Let me give y'all this. Let me give y'all this.
You gotta hit mute. So you gotta hit mute. You gotta hit mute.
Joey, when you're not talking, you gotta hit mute. Go ahead, Corey.
Hey, listen, this is coming from an African, bro. If y'all think y'all gonna go to Africa without a fucking bankroll in your pocket ready to invest in their economy and their infrastructure, they don't want nothing to fucking do with y'all and by all rights. Like, so all of this fucking Pan-African and helping Africa and all that, stop it. Stop. Because if you ain't got a few $100 million to go invest in Africa, they don't want to be fucking bothered with you niggas. So stop acting like they do. It's a fucking dream. Cut it out.
That's what I wanted to say, Corey.
I think
But the
that's what I
wanted to say.
The reason why,
yeah, but then the same thing though is like how.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay
The reason
with that.
why I stay specific to the gold, Joey, though, why I stay specific to that is, and I'm not saying you don't understand finance, but even if there's ways that you can, there's conflict-free sites and stuff like that, stores that give you some source of that validity that it isn't conflict or they're going to get the benefit. But even if I went to Africa and bought it from the mine, a lot of those mines over there, that's what a lot of the warring is. A lot of those mines over there aren't even owned by the people you would be giving the money to, and you don't know the difference. So you might be going over there fully thinking you're doing something pro-African by buying it from the mine. That mine might be owned by China. That mine might be owned by the French, the Russia. You don't know. So the gold, that's why I'm being specific to the gold. Anything else, I don't know what y'all talking about. But you don't gotta, I don't want people thinking they can fly to Africa, that they should somehow fly to Africa because, like, and I agree with Corey, unless you're talking about millions and millions and millions, you ain't got to go there. You can meet them in London, but you won't know just by buying gold from a mine you bought it from Africa. And then even if it was from Africa, a lot of those fucking mines over there is damn near slave labor. You might be supporting some really wild shit and you wouldn't even know as an African American in the United States. They know possibly, but you wouldn't know. So that I don't think that's pro-African to go over there and buy gold from a mine. That's why I was trying to figure out why you specifically said that.
Probably better
We have to figure out our goddamn neighborhood first. Why don't we figure out our neighborhood first? You know what I'm saying? Like, this Pan-African shit is getting on my fucking nerves. When we got the average American reading at a fucking 6th grade level, here we is talking about Africa. Why don't we concern ourselves with our goddamn neighborhood? First, start out with your block. If you can get your block together, then go to your neighborhood, right? And I can tell you right there, you're gonna have more work than you got life left to live. Just in your neighborhood. So the whole Help Africa shit is about the wildest goddamn it sacrificing animals in the back of Kinko. But go ahead, y'all.
Your name about to be Kinko, Corey, instead of Concrete.
I guess we're here now, so I guess
Everyone's bringing a clear point. But I think that all of us could be a little bit more well informed. I'm not just directing that towards any person.
Well informed on what?
Just going into what Pan-Africanism is.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not very informed. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that us being more informed on Pan-Africanism would be the fault of us, or maybe that Pan-Africanism puts out a mixed message?
I would say this. I would never accuse a person who's Pan-African of being, because they can explain their point.
We can't hear you, about being what? Accused of Pan-African of being what?
When you're saying that people who are Pan-African are ill-informed, think that they can break down their better than me, very intellectually, and use sources and do a good presentation of them. Because I'm not going to consider myself. I'm not saying.
All right, we can't really. Can y'all hear him? This is no diss, but can y'all hear him?
It's too strenuous trying to. I mean,
like we can't hear you, and the thing is, I wouldn't care if you weren't recording, but I can't make out what you're saying. So, and I know they won't be able to make out what you're saying.
Yeah. So let me try. Let me try and take my headphones.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, even with Pan-Africanism, even if I wanted to understand it, where do you start? that's damn near to me almost like going to Africa because you don't claim Umar, you don't claim, this one's doing it the right way, this one's doing it another way, this one wants to leave the country to go to some place, and we all gonna somehow figure this out, but then you can't forget FBA. And then now you got people, now I'm seeing that they're FBA and ADOS somehow at the same time. Like I said, it's a very confusing thing it's confusing to me. It's not that it's all bad. It's not that it's all bad. It's just I don't understand it's funny they're trying to unify. Hold on, real quick. It's funny that they're trying to unify. But the message is so garbled. You don't even know. Like most Pan-Africans, sit 10 Pan-Africans in a room. They got 10 different ideas. And then you talk about FBA and you're like, oh, well, FBA got this. And then you'll have somebody say FBA isn't a thing. It's a what they call it, Logic? What he kept saying when I kept saying
lineage. Pan-African.
Yeah, it's a lineage.
Yeah, FBA is not Pan-African. They're not Pan-African.
But yeah, I know it's a different. You're right.
ADOS.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say.
Here's my thing.
What I was going to say is, Brad, I believe the direction that your question would take it in is a question that they've already failed to answer for 60 some odd years on where they start. So we're going to ask them that, knowing full well they don't really got to answer that. So I'm saying that the real question would be, and how does it end, right? So once you've invested in this gold mine, and let's play the scenario out, perfect world. You've invested in this gold mine. The gold mine is now up and popping. How did that advance your political agenda? What are you trying to accomplish in which you need this goddamn gold mine? That's the question. Because I believe you're going to end up attempting to create a superpower. I will put all my money on this.
I don't think you really can invest in a gold mine in a particular country. Normally that shit they got agreements with, other countries. Like I think they can get more money than you can offer with whatever percentage they get. But listen,
he said that the gold mine is politically relevant. I want to know how. Go ahead.
I get it, but his mic is messed up. But listen, his mic is messed up. But what I'm trying to say is that, but here's my other thing though. Back to my other peoples. I'm trying to stay in America. I'll keep trying to take me over to Africa. Goddamn gorillas, Congo. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. Cause see, like when we have these conversations, right? And for y'all, right? I'm trying to steel man y'all into a position, right? Cause for me, like logic, like to me, it's like this. I keep bringing you meals, right? And you're like, that shit got too much salt in it. I don't really like that type of meat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out, like, I need something from you so I can get a glimpse of who you consider proper from 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or whatever. That way I'll have a type of
a baseline.
Steel man to say, okay, yeah, and then you can't wiggle out. I can actually hold you something. Because as of now, I can't really hold it in existence.
I've been very clear. So you
understand what I'm saying? You're right. I need logic. I need, you know what I mean? Because like I said, the brass and shit, y'all kind of using racism as a barrier. Right? You're not so much brass. You say you'll accept a little racism, not thrown away. You're a little flexible right there. You know what I'm saying? That the chef is a little more hard line. But I need to know where logic is. Like who do you point to? Like who does logic point to?
Now but hold on, logic. But there's a key with the race though. 2 seconds. If that cross domain conversation we was having before, that's probably the biggest barrier. The psychiatrics playing as biologists and geneticists and taking cultural and political theories and presenting them as science and using their credibility as a doctor and some other shit to unscientific people. But now go ahead, Logic. You can say whatever you want, but I want to be clear.
The scientific theory, right?
Right. Yes, if they present it as science, not culture.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I guess for me, I would definitely be more focused on the political side of it. And, looking at more of your Thurgood Marshalls and Martin Luther King. Man, these conversations absolutely show me how great of a human being Martin Luther King had. So like, I'm just
Okay,
naming
so they got to be.
those two easy
So you're
names, and
looking
it's more
more
so
like.
about their political attitude, the fact that they challenged the big giant and actually did something. Because I see
Well, there
I
ain't gonna be
see
too
all
many
these other battles.
MLKs.
I see all these
We're
other
talking about in
battles as
terms of
people
in
being
terms of
directly addressing
scholarship.
the same thing.
No, I'm talking in terms of scholarship, in terms of people that spoke that resonate with you, right? Like Malcolm may resonate with you, but he didn't actually change policy. He's more of a motivator. You know what I'm saying? So he resonates with people, right? So that way, if you choose Malcolm, then I can hold you to something. I can say, well, Malcolm said that. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm saying, like, who is it for you that you scholarly that you look at? He said, okay, because nobody's gonna be 100% perfect, right? You're not gonna find somebody you agree with everything in every stance. You know what I mean? So it's like, who is it for you? It don't gotta be from the 60s. It can be from the 70s. It can be from the 80s. It can be from the 90s.
I honestly
Is there
never
no
grew
one?
up with I never grew up with like a favorite scholar like that. That's why, like I told you, my whole family was political. I never was like I wasn't really that super into science like that as a young person. So it wasn't
Yeah,
like I,
not even
I was looking
science.
for like
Not even.
some
Yeah, it don't
academic
gotta be
person.
scientists.
That's why I
Yeah.
said a politician.
Right. Cause see, like I said, there's nothing to really tie you down to. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's
Well,
certain
maybe I'm
buzzwords.
missing your question
I
because
think
I'm
I think
cool
you
with
may
you
have
having my position.
I think you may have Black Ozzy PTSD. You know what I'm saying? That the
oh no,
inkling
definitely
of
he definitely sees black allies as my
blackness
purpose.
sends you just into like a shell shock state. Oh, what do you mean by black?
So what is blackology?
What is you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm actually not doing that right now. I'm not trying to get ahead of what you're
No,
saying.
no, no, no. I'm
I,
not.
I,
I'm not
I
saying you're
was
doing it right
giving
now. Yeah, I will say you're doing it right now. I'm just trying to. No, I'm just saying, like I'm using prior conversation to kind of clue in. That's why I was walking back through people. Like I said, I'm gonna start with Amos Wilson, and I'm gonna see like who's left because none of these people are perfect people. You know what I'm saying? They all probably said something down the line. You were like, yeah, I may not agree with. Like Amos Wilson, I think in one of his lectures, he was said like he's basically talking from a pro black perspective. He's like, if you don't if you don't understand that the white man is your enemy, then you're not about black power. If you go education,
maybe me saying it like this is more clear. I I may not be able to get you to see it the way I'm seeing it because I'm looking at this a little bit too much like a salesperson because I understand that in order for me to create an environment in which you feel the need for feel good stuff, well, the product I would actually have to sell you is how bad you actually feel. See, like I actually see that's how I look at it. You get what I'm saying? So I can't. So I'm basically looking at that whole group of people as more pushing pain than they're pushing solutions. And then they're kind of like intertwined with the ability to do it with like science behind it and their PhDs. So it's not necessarily about I don't care for them because they're black. No, I literally see harm. Like I literally see someone who knows exactly what they are doing, right? And are couching it behind the ethics of their degree, right? That their
yeah,
degree
but
allows them to make these leaps.
you're right. But I'm saying that yeah, I get there could be some right, but are you? It can't. Is it all of them?
In my opinion, yeah. In my opinion, they're all doing that to some degree. You You
Right. And
cannot
that's my
you cannot
Yeah,
be the
no, I
solution
don't.
of my
That's fucked up.
pain.
Hey, let me
and
out the
that's
Unless
car,
you
where
bro.
convince me
Let me
I
out the
feel
car.
bad.
No, let me out
right,
the
and that's
car.
what I'm saying, and that's what I get, and that's what I
Where, so
get
what
from the
did I say that you
conversation.
ain't like, Grass? Because I'm
And
standing
that's what
No,
I
on
no,
mean.
let me
That's
out
what
the
I
car
mean
because
by
it's
every
the
meal.
all. Yeah, it's the all. I don't like the.
That's
It's
what I
what
mean by
there's
like
just not.
every meal I bring you, you gonna say,
Yeah,
"Oh, that's just
it's
too
the
much salt.
all.
That's too much pepper. That's not." And it's like it doesn't. So it's like I'm killing myself trying to find a meal, but you like, "Hey, I don't even really like meals. I ain't
Because
found a meal I like yet."
yeah,
It's like,
just in realistic terms, it could never be all. Now, if you say that there was a group amongst the overarching group that did it, and now you're trying to figure out who's in that group, that's cool. But when you say all, now you're kind of going against what you're saying because then that doesn't explain Kenneth and Mamie Clark and Sumner
I got you.
you
So
know
yeah,
that,
you're asking me to
that
be
doesn't
technical.
explain the
everybody's
people that
nefarious.
yeah like
Yeah,
Everybody's
you asking me to
nefarious.
say it. I probably should just be saying I ain't seen it yet.
yeah yeah yeah
Yeah, not even with Mamie
because
Clark
I can
and Francis Sumner. You still ain't seen it yet because they're doing it for a reason. Like
like the dog test,
it's
but the
something.
dog test is peer reviewed though. The dog test is scientific methodology though. Like they used a method. There was
Yeah,
studies. It was peer reviewed. It was in journals.
get it.
It was used again. It was changed like that.
I
Even
get
if
it. People can
even if it
be.
was to make them feel bad. No, I'm talking to logic. Even if it was to make them feel bad, I understand your theory. They make you feel bad and then hand you Africa. But even if that dog test was to make them feel bad, it was done correctly. And if they felt bad, then they felt bad off some shit that was actually real, like something not white genetic annihilation. Like they weren't angry. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a fault. It wasn't. It didn't start off on a false premise. And then if they
Yeah, no,
handed
And
you
the
I get
dog
Africa
test,
after,
just and the
I
dog
get
test
that. You
wasn't to
can
make
couch
you
that in
mad.
science, though.
It was to awaken you of
yeah,
a psychological subconscious
yeah,
driver that you're
yeah.
not aware of.
Yeah, it's
So
fucking with
without
these
them,
kids.
it
These
wouldn't
kids
even
think white is
like
better. Yeah, I
and
agree.
all of it affects how you view the world, how you function in
I agree.
society. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like I was watching the other I can't remember the show, Brad. I watched last night. One of them I can't remember. But you said, you know, when my mom used to tell me a black person can be president, I thought it was bullshit. Like that means something. Because I thought the same thing, and many black people thought the same thing until 2008. We didn't even think that was a thing.
Yeah. No, I ain't gonna lie to you.
that,
And I don't know if you heard the rest of
so
that
that
show.
fucks with
Niggas
how
said I
you
was crazy
operate
for
in
saying that.
society.
Yeah. Niggas thought I was crazy. I thought she
Wow,
was
bro.
happy. I thought she was dead ass lying. Just yeah, mom, that's mama's baby.
Comedians made jokes about it. Comedians made jokes about that. Man, ain't no be no damn black president. He had to be on the podium moving around because they kill him. Like they would comment and make jokes about it. It was a joke. Shit. Like nobody thought Barack would actually until it got a little close. You're like, hold on, this nigga might actually win it. You know what? I think they could actually let a nigga be president. Like, yo.
But let me pose a question to you. If we're going to dive into this Afrocentric black and black psychology, who should we listen to? Who do we have in the community now that we can listen to and actually have a? That's my point because the
You
ones
talking
that's
about who
there.
should we listen to? Like,
What I'm saying is this, right? If you were to
but
pick
we'll be
one,
having a conversation.
if you were to pick one individual that you
Can I please answer that question, Sosa?
community to
Because
speak
Right
the first
now,
thing you gotta identify is what are you
And
trying
y'all
to
stop,
accomplish?
logic, stop. Y'all gotta realize too, we doing a show. Let him get the full question out as loud as he can, because you can't really hear him, and then answer the question. Because like I didn't even hear what his question was, and y'all trying to answer. There's a crowd that's gonna be watching this tomorrow.
what I'm saying is
Or
this.
somebody at least say
good.
it out loud for him. What he
What I'm
said.
I
saying
can
is
try to. He's saying like, who should we look to now, right? Like because other people are dead, right? In terms of African centered thought or African centric thought, like who should we look to now as like a guy, basically, right? If I'm
Go ahead,
paraphrasing that
Logic.
right, is that
Now,
pretty accurate, Joey?
logic. Answer the question, please.
Yes, the first place to start is what are you trying to accomplish? Can you answer that question before we
Liberation,
answer your question?
liberation,
what
liberation.
what what I think is important is just knowledge of self and trying to dig into our African past, because to me that is important. Maybe you just want to
Why?
know history because history is important. Everybody else values their history. You never see
So
white
if
people.
all you want to learn is history, right?
But remember
Go to
something.
college. Go
White
to
people.
college and get any Afro professor. That's
Okay,
it.
but I'm asking a question. If you were to pick someone in this community now to have this conversation with, who would you pick? That's my question.
I'm not answering that.
Okay. Would anybody care to try to answer the question or no?
Somebody in this community.
Yeah, if you could call it.
Actually, I think each one. I would talk to somebody like a true story and like a Rob. Each one teach one do a really solid job on and very knowledgeable in terms of African American history and even West African history. So yeah, them some good brothers. So I definitely would
So if I told you,
suggest
brother,
people kind of
so
tap
if I
in.
told you, brother, if I told you, brother Reggie, is someone you should talk to because he actually wrote a peer-reviewed academic paper, or brother Jabari, is someone you could talk to because he has experience and he has a degree and he can explain it better than me. What would you say?
Okay,
Just
I would say
not
yeah.
looking at
I
the
want to
brother
hear him.
individually.
I want to hear him. I want to hear him. Like I'm open up.
So,
I'm open. I don't.
so then why don't we try and reach out to these individuals to be willing to come in and have the conversation so we
Oh,
can
I
get a
mean,
little.
shit, we can't. Shit, we
So
can't. We were doing that, doing all type of damn interviews. Like
that's what I'm
shit, everybody keep getting us to do these, get these people to come in.
saying.
But
Because
yeah. We could try to set something up like that.
so go on the webpage, they ain't got shit to say. They just
I
can't
gotta
vote.
hold on for a
They ain't got
second.
shit to say. They ain't got nothing to say that's of value. They have no intelligent conversation. It's a hustle to put out a flag and put out this FBA bullshit. But when you ask them an intelligent question, they can't answer. They have no aim. They have no goal. They have no mission statement. So why we listen to them for? What are they going to contribute to you when they've never done anything
Yeah,
for
I
Like
don't
you?
this
listen
right,
to F. Yeah,
this
we
right
don't
here
listen
be
to
kind of
FBA.
confusing to me, right? Like it's almost like we are sitting here pretending like he's not asserting that some kind of way that this history does something else other than just like a hobby for him. He's absolutely implying it.
Well,
What?
subjective logic, like just what it does for you, you can't determine what it does for other people. Like
But
he
I'm
found that very important.
saying that the way we're
Like
answering the
and people
question
like
is actually not addressing what he's saying. Because he is
no,
saying
he
that
asks what I
it
look
gets
to.
him somewhere. All right, all right. Rob Bourne gonna get him to the next level. Then I'm sure that's what he's thinking.
You do know if I'm an individual and I want to go somewhere, where you are is important. Sometimes where you were is important to get you to a destination too. Correct? If you don't know where you are, then you can't know where you're going. Sometimes if you don't know where you were, then you wouldn't know where you went wrong in
I
going.
don't know. I ain't that lost. I'm listening to you.
You may not be, but that's a simple fact of when you're trying to get somewhere. Sometimes you have to go back over your whole journey to figure out where you went wrong. But you must, but
When
you
you
must.
say whole journey, you you talking about looking back into Africa and see what they got wrong. That's what you talking about.
But why not? What is wrong with doing that?
I'm
That
saying, okay, so
that
once you know where they went wrong, what you going? What adjustment are you going to make?
well, it depends. It depends. You could just you could it's something simple as doing a show on it and trying to say this is where I think they went wrong. Let's talk about it. Discussion is very important. I may not be the one to get us there, but I might be the one to inspire the mind to get us there. At the very least, you have some good content and very intelligent conversation.
You're talking all around. So you study
I'm
African culture. As of now, what do you think that it was when you say they got it wrong? Right? What's your idea so far of where they went?
I would say this: having an absolute monarchy is something where it went wrong because the ruler was the absolute power, the absolute moral and spiritual authority over all of these people. And sometimes they did some shit that you wouldn't agree with, but in their mind, or when you look at it, they had a motive for doing it. So you examine the motive and say, that sounds like some crazy shit. That makes sense. Just like when you look back at ancient Kemet and they say they want to control their immediate environment. You might look at that as being a bully, but when you live in America and you do shit, you realize you end up under a shitty rulership that does not espouse what you think it should be and leads you down a very bad moral path. The ancient Kemetic people decided
I have my art and I'm going to do whatever it takes to preserve that because that's the most important thing to me, whether you agree with how they did it or not. And they were able to become great with that mentality. We are here living in a country and a culture that doesn't represent nothing. We don't see anything wrong with that. We don't see how political control is important. How being able to decide your own fate is important because you end up doing shit that you don't want to do. You end up in a situation where you could get killed at any moment. Our African ancestors didn't have that problem because they stuck to what they believed in, no matter who was wrong and who was right, and they did whatever they had to do to correct that problem. And we might not agree with it, but we see now the value of being able to control your environment. It's very important. And sometimes you had to do about some fucked up means. You had to do some fucked up shit. But it keeps you on a good path sometimes. Maybe you disagree with that, maybe you don't. But we know what not controlling you. A whole lot
okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how to respond to that. I don't know what that was confusing. Maybe some of it I wasn't able to hear you clearly on it, but I mean, as far as I know, I think all people kind of just they kind of do what they do what they got to do. Sometimes it's brutal, sometimes it's not. I'm not so sure.
The ultimate motive is what's important. You might be doing it in the name of I want to take people's shit. Or you might be doing it because I want to create balance. I don't want you to fuck up my balance.
So you saying no? You saying Africans didn't move in that same spirit that you would frown upon in any other circumstance?
I'm saying everybody makes mistakes and does shit that you don't agree with, but you have to look at the overall motive and understanding and how it turned out.
Stay right there. So stay right there. If everybody is prone to possibly making the same mistakes, what benefit do you then get from upholding the African mistakes over the other people's mistakes? Everybody makes mistakes.
I'm not saying uphold the African mistakes. I'm saying look at the mistakes and uphold the good parts, what you see about Africa, and try to promote the good parts.
No, but I'm saying if everyone makes mistakes, like you, I'm trying to figure out where is it that where is the African part more I guess vital or something.
I'm just simply saying that with the power that they had, they could have gone a lot further and they could have done a lot more things in terms of quote unquote conquering and taking over land. But they didn't do that. They just wanted to have control of their media. Say when I step out here, I'm comfortable. And I know that
Which African group you talking about? Because
I'm specifically talking about ancient Kemet because I think ancient Kemet, with all their flaws, contributed a lot to modern
ancient Kemet is an empire and is very oppressive to their neighbors.
I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna challenge you to show me a word for oppression that means what you're talking about, because there is no word in the Kemetic language what you're saying.
So you need a word for oppression to know that they had campaigns.
Because
that they had campaigns on their neighbors.
And I'm brought it back to black.
I'm because he's making an argument out of him being naive. If he's the one who studies Egypt, and I need to show him that they was warring in between them groups.
Well, he said you need to show him a word in their language that means that. Well, how about we just show you, right, the history, right, from ancient Egypt, whether they had a word. Listen, whether we can find a word in their lexicon that is the same as our. Can we say that if you colonize other territories, right, and force tribute, right, on those people through violence, could that be called oppression? Or I need an Egyptian hieroglyphic word for it in order for it to be considered oppression? Go. I'm waiting.
His mic would cut out right there. Your mic didn't cut out again.
The word that we use for oppression, if you look at those words in ancient Kemet, there is no direct word to mean.
I don't care.
It's not the same thing. I'm not saying there is no word, but it's not the same.
It doesn't matter whether you can find the word or not. I'm saying that the action is there. I don't care if I can't find. I don't read Egyptian. I don't need their lexicon for me to even figure out whether they knew what water was. You know what I mean, or whether they knew what a crocodile was. I don't
I
like.
just got some minutes.
I agree that there was definitely war. But if you're going to call someone an oppressor does not have a limit. An oppressor.
So you think that the Nubians
Everyone.
didn't believe that the Egyptians were an oppressive regime on them?
I'm sure if I was going through it, I would fight and say that they are definitely quote unquote oppressive.
Okay.
Me. I'm not saying that you
Well,
can't
why you challenge me like that, dude?
because I'm saying the word oppression in the ancient Kemetic language doesn't mean the same thing.
It doesn't matter.
That's not. And we have
How
to
does that matter?
That was disingenuous.
You're trying to say Pharaoh was just dictating everything, running around killing everybody.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. We got shit with the Nubians on the bottom of their sandals, depictions of them getting ran over by chariots in their fucking towns and cities being burnt and pillaged. And then them being dragged off hog-tied by the neck and arms. When you hog-tie human beings and drag them off, men, women, and children, behind them crying, what do you call that?
Let's say it again. I am not going to tell you there was not war and fighting, but I know dictators don't have a limit. Ancient Kemetic people had a limit. They wanted to control their environment. They didn't want to kill everybody.
So what does the word oppression mean?
When you're dealing with oppression in the English language, they're talking about an individual that doesn't
What kind of pressure you talking about?
conquer anything. You murder anybody for any reason.
Well, then that fits into oppression. They did campaigns to turn them into servitude.
Listen, bro,
You ain't know that?
I'm not saying there wasn't military campaigns of people at borders.
So if I rule over you, right? If I rule over you, if I can take your subjects at will, hog-tied, if I can make you pay tribute to me, right, under the threat of violence, do you think that the Nubians had autonomy? Or was their autonomy taken away from them? That's oppression. Their right to rule themselves was oppressed.
Well.
How can you? Well, we shouldn't be differing over simple stuff like that.
Yeah, that's way too simple, yo. Like that should just be a fact that you can build off of. Like, why are you fighting it so long?
Your phone breaking up.
Terms like conqueror and oppressor to refer to my ancestors. I just don't like the word. Maybe you're gonna
refer to your ancestors. You Egyptian?
I'm African, so all Africans are my people, no matter where they come from.
Oh, okay.
So I don't like the term because I think it implies something that I'm not saying people didn't get beat up, but they had people who look like the Nubians who were fighting. Asiatics got beat up too. Libyans got beat up too. And that's just a natural fact of dealing with running a country. You have to fight people to protect your borders. That's not necessarily
and you have to be an oppressor.
Why you started? Yeah, why you started off talking about how peaceful they was and all that?
Because I'm specifically referring to a specific group of my people. I'm not talking about Europeans. I'm not making that comparison because there is no comparison. When people go
and the group that you brought up was Egypt, and they were a bad example.
Okay, I don't think they were a bad example, and all of these Europeans who are actually imitating them in Washington D.C. don't think they were a bad example, because Washington D.C. definitely is imitating some ancient Kemetic scenery, whether you agree with it or not. Math comes from Kemet. A lot of things do come from Kemet that we use today. So they couldn't have been all bad. They couldn't have been all bad.
No, you said peaceful society comes from Kemet. We ain't talking
bro, what I said
about none of the other stuff. You said that they was up there being harmonious and all that.
I said that they wanted control of their immediate. They didn't want to expand it to just conquer any and everybody and conquer the whole of Africa and kill and murder and rape people. No, they did want to expand their borders, but there definitely was a limit to how far they wanted to expand their borders. You don't have to agree with it, and you can call it whatever you want. I just choose to use this.
Bro, their borders expanded from Sudan all the way to Yemen. How much more they need to be an oppressor?
If you said Yemen, you said Yemen, that's a lot of territory. That's a lot of territory, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm not.
So
I'm not.
how you have tributaries all the way into that region and you doing it through military force, but you're not considered an oppressor?
Well, listen. I don't like to use the word oppressor because I think I don't like the word. I don't think it's a good word. I don't think it's a positive. You can use the word, and maybe I shouldn't disagree with you. Maybe I'm romanticizing the, but shit happened. Nothing I could do
So
about
if
it.
you was a Nubian having to pay that tribute against your will, and you had to watch other people's families get dragged off, you wouldn't describe your position as being oppressed?
If I
Serious?
was in if I was in that position, I would probably use that word. I would probably say so. I probably think this shit is not good for me because I can't do what I want to do. Yes, I'll probably use that word, and I probably would. But I'm just saying we have to understand the concept. It's still not the same. The word oppression doesn't mean the same thing when we're dealing with English. It's a different level and a different nuance to the word oppression. That's what I'm telling you. When you study the language, you'll understand that. There's no direct correlation between oppression that we're talking about and that concept in ancient Kemet. There isn't.
So you said if it was you on the ground and it was happening to you, you would describe it as you being oppressed. So now as you sit back and look at what happened, how do you describe what happened to those people?
Saying they have a word for oppression. They have several words for oppression, but it is not a direct one-to-one correlation with English
What
ideology.
word would you use?
I can't tell you off rip, but I'm telling you they have several words for oppression, and those words
So
simply mean you got beat up in a fight. That's what it means. You got beat up in a fight. I oppressed you. I beat the shit out of you. That's not the same. It's a slight difference between that.
Well,
And
I need a better word if I'm gonna look at it a different way. I need a better word. You saying you look at it a different way and don't have a better word. So I'm confused by that. What's a better word than oppressed?
I'm just saying they have words.
Colonized?
They have words for oppress, but there's not a direct one. Means you got beat up in a fight. I fought you and I beat the shit out of you. That's basically what most of the words mean. It doesn't.
Can we at least agree it wasn't a peaceful transfer? Can we say that? Is that
some people definitely got
efficient English vernacular?
some people definitely got fucked up.
Okay.
Some people got
That's
fucked up.
cool. So let's throw out this whole Kemet was all peaceful
No,
and
I don't.
harmonious with their neighbors. Let's throw that out.
I
It's
never.
not true.
Instead of walking into this conversation, could y'all speed it up because we can't hear Joey. So whatever y'all trying to sort out, just say call each other niggas or something. Like, what are y'all actually talking about? Y'all trying to have a conversation where the chat can't hear Joey.
I never.
So just say what y'all gonna say and then let's move on because we can't hear you.
I never said Kevin was all peaceful.
Still, I didn't even hear that, and it was probably profound.
I would never
Like
say
logic,
Kemet.
just tell them what you trying to say. What's the statement, the premise, so we can move on? Because you can't hear him.
Okay. Yeah. So my point is that you're basically suggesting that we should return to something that ancient Egypt has. You haven't necessarily identified it specifically. Now, when you alluded to it, you talked about like behavior of some kind. And you almost suggested as if they were less warlike and more harmonious, right? So I'm saying that you can't make that statement with Egypt's history. It doesn't even line up. So I'm sort of getting at like, what else are you talking about? Because that is not true, and he hasn't given me that. So,
I'm not saying that ancient Kemet was peaceful because that's not a true statement. I'm just saying they had reasons why they did. Their mind, they wanted to maintain Ma'at, which is something that was important to them. And if you didn't maintain that, something had to happen. Maybe you don't agree with that and you don't understand that. But they took it to that extreme because they were that serious about it. I didn't say it's nothing about people and people didn't get beat up and die because the history doesn't say that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're conquerors might be a bit too much. It might be a stretch for me, not for everyone else. That's all I'm telling you. You don't have to agree with me, but I don't think that's a proper word to use. I don't think they colonize anything. I don't see it that
And
way. That's all.
I got you. And I'll make my final remark on it because I think that even you have my wrong, right? If you look up my her principle is to keep order and maintain order. So when you say maintain order, right, that does not allude to I'm going to change the way your society operates. No, I am going to keep your society operating the way that it is. So whatever moral aptitude you're trying to use with that, Mayat was not telling the kingdom to not be an empire. As a matter of fact, Mayat isn't even for the empire. It's for the royal class. It's not something that is accessible to people outside the royal family like that because everybody can't read. Like reading is at a super premium in Egypt. And if you're not a noble, if you're not an artisan, right, or if you're not in the priestly class or not in the royal class, you out. That's almost 90% of the population that is uneducated, working in the fields, working in the mines, or doing whatever else that they're doing, but they are not reading. They have no idea what you're talking about. They can't read. So even there, you conflated things that aren't accurate with the history. So the historical context you're trying to give me, you needed to have the premises that you're having,
Okay, so
and you don't.
let me put you onto something. For thousands of years, nobody could read or write. They were dealing with word of mouth and spreading these things by word of mouth. When they started to write, they only wrote down what they have been thousands of, because ancient Kemet has ancient Kemetic history. So being able to read and write doesn't standing what Ma'at is, because they were told from the time they were young and they told their children.
No,
So
get my point is that everybody can't be keeping me out my eye because everybody does not have access to these scrolls, and even some of the people who do have access to them cannot read. You don't start getting large populations of people that can read almost until after the Middle Ages. So for the most part, common people cannot read.
you didn't need to read to be
How you gonna know about my eye then?
what's called oral history. The stories were told, and when they invented writing, they wrote them down. You don't need to read. Do something. There's plenty of people who may not be able to read, but you can tell them something and they can internalize
So
what
so so what you're telling me, so now what you're telling me that they was asking people to read stuff that didn't pertain to them. See, Mayat isn't a way for everybody to get into heaven. It's a way for the nobles to get into heaven. See, I got you no matter where you go. Your context is just you like I'm teaching you the history on something that you trying to tell me to use. That's crazy. Mayat is not for the general population. It's for the noble class, it's for the artisans, and it's for the royals. Period.
not true. Saying Christianity is only for specific people. That's not true. That is definitely untrue. It was a principle that was for everyone.
There was
Maybe
a
at one point when you're talking about
there was a there was a time there was a time with there was a time even in Christian in the church, and at that time there were so few people reading Bibles or that was able to read. It didn't even make sense to print more Bibles. You get that?
oh, yeah,
People really couldn't read. You're not getting that?
between
You
going
you ain't
back
getting that.
before writing and just being a little difference. Because at one point, writing was new. So people would have had to learn to read and understand writing because it wasn't something in the Middle Ages. Writing was there for you to learn. People was just illiterate. They just didn't learn. They were unlearned. They couldn't speak the language. All of that factors in. They just didn't know Latin. They didn't take time to learn Latin. They didn't have access to learn the language. That is why they were being abused. It was something that only priests knew. They didn't have access to it. It's not to say that it goes back thousands of years before writing and people had to learn to read to understand. Because we know Africa goes back a long time. So, of course, there are
Bro,
people who can't read and who can't write when
let me. All right, let's deal with this, right? In ancient Egypt, how do you get into their afterlife? What's that process?
well, you have to be weighed by Ma'at, and your heart has to be lighter than a feather. So you have to live a balanced life, but not a perfect
Does
life.
Ma'at weigh everybody's heart?
According to the tradition, yes.
Who can you see depicted in those depictions of Ma'at weighing their heart? Who do you see that? You see everybody getting that opportunity?
Course, of course, if you're talking about writing down, you're only going to see nobles and important people being written about. That's in any culture. The average person doesn't get written about, but they do have things where they do depict everyday life. We know that. But if we talk about major
You tripping,
writers,
dude.
of course you're only going to see be written about. That's in any society.
So where do you get the assumption that other people get their heart weighed if it's not written down?
Where does it say that average people don't? That's my question. Because I've never read
Because the king becomes Osiris. That it's a part of the process. Osiris is a part of Osiris is like the first king, so the whole process is giving homage to Osiris. Everybody does not get to become Osiris. See, like this, I can't. I'm already nerding out too much, and like you're so unfamiliar with what I'm saying. I can't. I can't. Like you don't even believe me or something. Like I don't know. I know enough to know where you're messing up, but you don't know enough to know when I'm right. So I don't know what to say.
he was not a ruler. He became Lucifer was not definitely was not a royal, and he became a Tsar. There are plenty of people who are prominent who are not royals who became a Tsar.
Okay, and even then, see, I understand there's so much that somewhere in the Middle Kingdom that they opened it up, and the people who had enough money, could pay for their funeral ceremonies, and they could be depicted on the wall, getting their heart weighed by my eye. But those are still people with money. Farmers don't get enough money to go to do all that. The people who get to do all that are nobles, artisans, and royals. I said that.
You're not see it. Just what you said. To be of a certain status for them to put me in that position. It doesn't mean because I'm not rich, I'm not gonna get to have my heart weighed. It doesn't mean that. That's a process that everyone is supposed to. Of course, they're gonna only depict prominent people doing it, and only prominent people would be able to be able to see that. But some of those prominent people were not royals. There were people probably around him in his court, but that doesn't mean they're the only ones who get to experience it. That could never be true. That's a concept that extends to everyone. It's not just because I am royal, I get to
All
see
right,
that.
I quit. I'm gonna look it up.
It's not. I understand where you're coming from and why you would say that, but you should probably further investigate to understand that was a concept for everyone, not just a royal person. It wasn't just because you have a person that now I have to follow my no. The ruler of the country was considered the ultimate authority in terms of being able to tell the priest what to do, to be able to change and manipulate the system, whereas you can't do that. That is why he got
I
run off.
can I interject for half a second?
Yes,
So
yes.
logic, I will say this though. I have an easy stance, Joey, and logic, you know it. I don't on purpose read these things to get some form of pseudo clarity or something I don't believe in or I don't agree with to then have a discussion on the subject against my personal beliefs. Like I'm honest about that. So when you say, so for example, somebody say, well, read Black Man on the Nile and see. If the overarching view, if the consensus is that it's not academic, and it's basically told from there are pieces in it that are academic, but that for the most part, it's about African empowerment and such. I'm not going to read it to prove a point to say, well, now I can critique it because I read it. But I will say this to you, though, Elijah. If you going to have these conversations, though, and you're going to make statements about my aunt and all this and the other, you might have to actually go down the rabbit hole. I don't know if you're not easily indoctrinated, that I know. But you might
I've been down those rabbit holes. It was just a while ago, and I didn't like keep the clips, so so I could know where to immediately go back and know where I saw it.
No, but listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying I get that. I know you've seen clips, but I'm saying you might have to go down the rabbit hole. Clips ain't the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole is actually sources, reading reading the full book, the sources, this, that, and the other. Because when you're talking to somebody that did read the full thing and they're fully a part of it, unless you're willing to say what the consensus is saying or what academia is saying versus what you're saying. Because if you're saying this from your own thing, like I know, then when you say things, or like, I don't know if you messed that whole thing up with the elites getting into heaven or whatever, but there is somebody that read that entire book, knows that entire thing, and you're probably going to be talking to them. And then when you make a statement like that, it's going to have to be not just backed by the clip you saw, right? It's going to have to be backed also by, I read this. I read that whole book and it ain't saying nothing about that kind of thing.
No, I feel you. Now, in this particular conversation, like we haven't spoken about anything that I would consider advanced, to be honest with you. Like I wouldn't, like I feel like if you're telling me you know something about ancient Egyptian mythology, religion, such and such, one of the first things you should know is that ritual process of their afterlife. Like how do you get the concept of what they're talking about unless you know that? I don't see that. Like that's the one thing that shouldn't be vague. So I feel like I'm talking to someone who's like saying they have a grasp on it, but like that fundamental aspect shouldn't be something that you should be wavering on. That's not a hard lookup, and it's not like there's nothing really there to dispute. You get what I'm saying? Like that's an easy one. Another easy one is that they force their neighbors to do intensive work. That is easy. Like that's not something that should be debated if you're telling me that you know something about Egypt. You get what I'm saying? So like as of yet, like for real, I feel like this is stuff that he should know, trying to suggest I get more familiar with Egypt. Like he should know this. You know what I'm saying? That's really more where I'm coming from. But I was about to read because the way the old kingdom set up the afterlife, like it's very clear that it's for royals. Very clear. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just read. I'm gonna just go ahead and read. In the old kingdom of ancient Egypt, 2686 to 2181, not everyone was believed to have automatic access to the afterlife because the concept was still tied closely to the king's divine role rather than being the universal right. The king, as a sole afterlife gatekeeper, in the early Egyptian religion, the afterlife specifically, a blessed existence among the gods, was thought to be a privilege of the pharaoh. The pharaoh was seen as the earthly embodiment of Horus and the son of Ra, destined to join the gods in heaven. Common people spirits, Ka and Ba, were thought to linger in the tomb and the surrounding earth, not ascend into the celestial realm. The pyramid text exclusively, the pyramid text and exclusivity, the earliest afterlife spells, the pyramid text appear inside royal tombs in the 5th and 6th dynasty. These spells were designed to help the king overcome dangers, transform into a divine being, and reach the sky. They were not publicly available. Their magical and theological knowledge was reserved for royal use. Without access to such rituals, the average person lacked the quote unquote technology to join the gods. Last point. Economic and ritual burials. A proper afterlife required a well-provisioned tomb, ongoing offerings, and priestly maintenance. These were expensive and logistically complex. Accessibility were mainly to the royal family and to elite officials. It took money. It took money to do all that. For most commoners, burial customs were simpler, and the religious framework for their post-mortem fate was less developed. They might hope for a continued existence in the grave rather than an eternal life with the gods. He is not getting in. Very clear that he ain't getting in.
Ask you a question. What source did you read that from?
That's ChatGPT. You want some more? Because that was a legend right there. Like that, like you're still questioning it as if I was joking the whole time. And you like when can we kind of build off of something? Because right now you're asking me for, I done at least read something. You ain't read nothing, right? I've been telling you that that's what it is. So I'm trying to figure out like when can we at least build on something?
Hey, Chefrine.
Fair enough.
Yo,
Are we going live tonight?
we could do that.
Yeah, I want to go live. I want to actually talk tonight. Logic, be prepared, bro. I want to go. I want to actually talk. I want to sort this shit out. Y'all go ahead and go back and talk what y'all talking about. Just remember y'all recorded, nigga.
So what we talking about tonight? What I need to get prepared for?
I don't think, because I'm watching the video, I don't think that this video is giving even clarity. I think our video is almost just as confusing. I think the clarity of today, what we talked about today in here, I think that actually gives the clarity. Who's telling the truth? And this is actually an attack on the nigga's credibility. I want to actually have that conversation before this comes out tomorrow. Like, because that'll be like a response, but a positive response. Just clarity, because even in the chat, it's still, no matter what is being said right here, is that Logic made it up. And that I can't abide.
Yeah, I can't live with that.
Yeah, I can't abide that. Because now on this video, Unc admits that he told them, but I don't even want to go another 24 hours with the fact that everybody think Logic just making shit up and Chef and Corey just making shit up. I just want to actually have the conversation and deal with any pushback, not just a fucking Discord video. But y'all go ahead. But that's where I'm at with it.
Okay, Logic. So how about we set up a time? We go live and I'll show you what I have to show, and you show what you have to show, and then we have a more better balanced conversation. How about
Joey? I like you, brother. If I ain't tell you yesterday I like you, brother, I'm telling you today I like you, brother. That's 3 pauses, but I'm telling you, your fighting style is my kind of fighting style. Let's go. Okay, you said what you said. I said what I said. Now I'm gonna go get my sources, and you go get yours, and then now let's do this live and see if you keep that same energy. That's where I'm at. Yeah, Logic, he talking to you. He ain't talking to me. I'll go up there if you want.
I want you to look for.
Nah, this is way too easy. Set it up when you want to do it.
We can't hear you if you're talking.
When I put out ChatGPT, when I put out a primary text and you put out ChatGPT, I don't want nobody crying.
I promise you I won't cry. I promise you.
ChatGPT didn't tell me nothing. Yes, it's somebody else's translation.
I promise you.
That man said when I pull out primary sources, you pull out ChatGPT, I don't want to hear it.
I promise I won't cry. I got you. You right there. You just don't know it yet, but I got you. So what's the conversation gonna be about? To be specific, about who could get in the afterlife? Is that what we talking? Dang, you breaking up.
We're getting primary, or as close to primary as we can with doc. We don't want to use chat.
No, but what are you trying to prove with the primaries though?
What am I trying to prove? What the afterlife is about. What they said about the afterlife. What they said about